And we are. Whoa, what happened to my little screen? I can't read into the chat.
I'm sure we're good there. Not a lot of action in the chat.
We get some sometimes. All right, here we go. There we go. Now I can see the chat room with 0 viewers. Let me send a message to my friends. Let them know that we're on. We're live now.
Okay, yeah, we're live. When's the last time you streamed like a game or anything? I have checked Twitch and I've checked your profile and
It's been a minute because we've been playing a lot of multiplayer games that I don't really like. We've even been playing Minecraft recently, and
how many?
uh, me, Chris, Gray, Peyton, Cam, Blake sometimes. Um, Hold on one sec. So like we play something like that, and there's people that stream Minecraft that are good at Minecraft. If you watched me play Minecraft, you'd be bored out of your fucking mind.
I don't understand Minecraft enough to know what's boring and what's not boring though.
Well,
What's boring on Minecraft?
well, it's not that it's boring. It's just it'd be boring to watch. Like if I'm just trying to build something, because it's a survival game, right? Where you build stuff and you mine and you fish and it's really blocky because it's Minecraft and that was by design. So it's like little mundane things that you can do in the game that you yourself would probably enjoy. But do you want to watch somebody mining blocks?
I can't say anything because I would watch this streamer, this Twitch streamer, who would do like Skyrim
Yeah,
modded the fuck out with hard like if he dies, like the game's over, right? So he was very like
cautious.
cautious and like everything was walking everywhere and I kind of enjoyed it. So
That's probably still more interesting than watching me mine blocks because at least there's some tension there when you're watching it. It's like, ooh, if he dies, this is it.
yeah.
Where it's like, oh, he's still digging. And I'm not like we both watched Bike Man stream before, and you know how he talks when he plays, and he makes it kind of
Engaging.
humorous. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't be doing that. I'd just be sitting there like, so, so yeah.
So not a lot of high vid watchers.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Madden also because we picked up the new Madden because it's been a couple years since I bought one, so I was like, okay, it's been a couple years, I can justify buying a copy of Madden. So me, Chris, Peyton, and Gray and Dalton all play Madden. We'll
Why
play
don't y'all
against each other
stream that?
because I don't want nobody seeing my plays. See,
But you don't play online, so
yeah, I know we are playing online because we're playing against each other.
yes, but you're not playing like
I don't
oh, you're
want
talking about like everybody.
I don't want
But they
them to
would see
see.
your plays anyway, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would if I streamed.
If
They'd be
they're
able
on
to,
your team.
if they're watching them stream, they could see my plays and then figure out how I'm beating Chris all the time.
Oh, is it just one versus one?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we do 1v1s.
Okay.
And
Well,
let me tell you, I don't know if you when's the last time you played Madden, but if you have a shitty quarterback in Madden 24, you can expect him to play shitty. Like you might be standing still and throw a pass, and it'd be 10 yards away from where you wanted to throw it because your quarterback sucks.
I've seen some YouTubers play with Derek Carr, and it was some errant passes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll let other people pick our team sometimes, like people that aren't playing. And me and Chris were playing against each other, and I can't remember who he got, but I had the Colts. And so they had Anthony Richardson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completed 4 passes that game. I won.
A lot of
'Cause-
running.
Yeah. But I tried to pass it like 19 times, I think, and I completed 4 fucking passes. And finally I was just like, nope, I'll run every play.
Wow. Do y'all, I mean, hell, I forgot what I was going to ask. It was a Madden question. Yeah, is everybody else watching the game as well?
Yeah, we'll stream it on Discord.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't even know how Discord really works. Like, I know we do this, but like, apparently there's Discord chat and all this.
Yeah,
and-
you can general chat. Like, my brother has his Discord channel set up, and he has so many rooms in it. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, there's a lot of fucking rooms in your Discord. Mine, you see mine. I've got like, what, 4 rooms, 5 rooms maybe?
4.
4. Yeah.
But, well, is there room for like chatting and video just for different things, right?
No, you can set the channels up so the way like Eric has done his is he has a room for chatting and hanging out. He has a room for gaming. He has a room for watching movies. He has a room for well, I'm not going to tell all his business, but he has a lot of rooms.
You kind of are telling his business spots.
Like Cam has his set up for for different games, right? So he'll have like a channel for Apex, and he has all these channels set up, but nobody ever uses them because we all end up in just the same room together. So that's why I keep mine small and only have like 4 channels. I got one that's designed for this podcast where it's capped at 3 people in it. Or maybe 4, but the only people that can see it are like me, you, and Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
That way, nobody can just bust in and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" while we're recording.
Yeah.
And then I had another channel for Cap that was for meat shields, and when we do that, and then I just have like 2 regular channels. But
What'd you buy?
do what?
Quick question. What'd you buy Madden on?
Xbox. And that was more so just to justify having an Xbox. Because I don't play a ton on it. So, and I've actually got it set up by my computer so I can play on my computer monitor. That way I can,
gotcha.
that way I can still have like my second monitor up with other shit.
Is it a little confusing, Madden, on the Xbox controller? No?
Nah, because I mean, essentially, with the exception of the labeling of the buttons, the Xbox and the PlayStation controller have the same layout.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, if I was throwing to the receiver, it would take me at least probably 2 games to like hit the right receiver because I'm so used to PlayStation, which I haven't played my PS4 in a year and a half. So,
Really?
yeah.
What are you doing with your life?
Trying to get podcasts started, not knowing about Discord, apparently.
Not knowing about Discord. Yeah, Discord's you can actually use it on your PlayStation also. You have to sign in through your phone though, and then you transfer the call to your PlayStation. So, like if you had some buddies that you were playing with, because obviously me and you are on opposite sides of the globe. So, us playing together is kind of hard just because.
Time difference.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm in France
Yeah.
with the shirt, south of France. Yeah. I hope I can get a PS5 sometime before I die. I don't know, though.
Shit.
I might die before I get that.
The PS6 will be coming out, and you're like, I got a PS5, guys.
Yeah, and people just laugh at me, and I'll be so happy. And then I'll just cry, because then I'll be sad.
Yeah. Did you see they re-released Red Dead Redemption?
Yeah, and I heard there was some controversy with it.
Yeah, because they didn't really do nothing to it.
Yeah, I mean they didn't even like scale it or anything, did they? They didn't like update the graphics.
That's kind of wishing they would.
I liked Red Dead.
I do too.
It had Liar's Dice,
Yeah.
maybe the greatest mini game ever.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was disappointed when you didn't have it in Red Dead Redemption 2.
That just seemed like a middle finger to the fans, didn't it?
Yeah. You like Liar's Dice? Fuck you. It's out.
Fuck you. We'll give you a hand job in the bathtub, but you won't get Liar's Dice, you know?
Right.
Like, okay. Yeah. I don't know, how much were they charging like full price for Red Dead?
I don't remember. It may have been like $40.
That's a lot for a game they didn't upgrade.
That's that Nintendo model, man. Nintendo loves to sell everything for full price all the time. Oh my god. I was about to look up the price, but I gotta update my app.
Did you and you would know before I would. Like 3 or 4 months ago, it was a new GTA trailer dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Was that legit?
I don't know if it was a trailer. I think somebody leaked some footage of the game.
Well, I know that happened because they got caught and they're in like big trouble.
$49 is how much it cost.
Phew.
Yeah, so almost full price.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. You ready to talk about Crawl?
I'm ready to fumble our way through Crawl.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm about to start the recording. You'll know when we go live. Well, we're live now, but you'll know when we're recording. I'll give you the universal signal. I'll go, ka-ka.
Kaka. Kaka.
All right. Here we go. Welcome to Very Unreasonable Things. That sucked. That was horrible. But it's staying in because we're live.
No takey backsies.
No,
Yeah,
no
gotta
taking
do it.
backs. Or I could have been like, we're back, baby. It's Very Unreasonable Things in your face.
And then like edit a guitar solo in there.
Yeah, like somebody shredding.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just got a live update on my fantasy team. I got a player out with injury. Anyways, we're not here to talk about my fantasy team. We are here to talk about another alligator/crocodile movie in Crawl.
The last one. This is it.
The last one, yep. So, as always, I'm Billy Bone, and with me is Josh Lindsay.
Howdy. Howdy.
So, how have you been doing, Josh? It's been a minute since, you may not know when we release these episodes, but it has been a minute since we've recorded. We have real life things that have been kind of keeping us from getting together to do this.
Yeah, it's been a when did we do Rogue? It was like a month and a half ago.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit, but we're back. And
We are.
so do we I don't know what'll come out first, but do you want to talk about real quick your little side project?
Oh yeah, it's something I'm working on. It's under the Very Unreasonable Things banner. If you listen to the podcast or subscribe to the podcast, because me and Bone and Daniel, because all our lives are sort of existing, and they take precedent over the podcast, especially with Daniel. He's gone
Yeah.
28 days, and it's just hard for us to link up.
Daniel's got kids that have a lot of activity, which my child has a lot of activities too, but I'm in a different state. But Daniel's kids are like in band and, doing great things.
Yeah.
And obviously he wants to be there, when he's home to do those things with them. So,
So it's hard for us to, like all three of us, much less me and Bone sometimes, So we are gonna start, me and a couple of guys who live here in Stockholm, and just try something different. Not do the same thing as Very Unreasonable Things, I don't think, but kind of, and just talk about different kinds of movies. Um,
So you said y'all were going to focus on indie rom-coms, right?
no, uh, that's what one of the guys picked, is like indie comedies slash rom coms, not strictly to talk about, but as a couple of
When
movies. And
when are y'all doing 13 going on 30?
uh, that's going to be like in a month, I think. We're going to cover
Okay.
Jennifer Gardner. Yeah, Jennifer Gardner movies. And but you know what? Because I was thinking about, like, I wanted the premise of the show to be twin films, and just compare and contrast them, and at the end of the episode vote on which one was better.
So like what we did when we first started.
Yeah, our very
It was a few
first
episodes.
episode of all three of us,
Yeah. Well, that was our first episode.
besides Nightmare on
Oh
Elm Street.
yeah, beside
Yeah,
the pilot
The pi-
episode.
yeah.
See
the
me do
pilot.
air
We're
quotes.
professionals. It was a test run that wasn't supposed to be released. That we
so-
ran out of content, so you were like, "I'm just going to release it." If you released Lionheart, which should not have fucking been released, I'm just getting.
Oh man.
Sweet Jesus, that was.
Still
I think back to that a lot, and I'm like, God damn, why did we do that?
Oh, we just threw it out there. It's like, hey, we got half the episode of the watch along. Enjoy.
Jesus. Oh my God. And our movies weren't even synced up, so you were watching like 10 seconds ahead of me. So it was just a clusterfuck. It shouldn't exist. But no, yeah, it was the first time. It was Cobra versus Commando. But we were gonna record, and it kind of fell through because whatever reason. We were gonna record Terminal Velocity versus Drop Zone. And I watched both movies, and
Don't give it away. Save it for the podcast.
well, we went to record that day, and like they never ended up watching Drop Zone. And I'm like, what are we doing?
So it's just
I
like
don't-
it's just like a regular podcast then, for us.
Yeah, it's a podcast that has firmly established that they'll never be successful. Sticking to that trend.
I would say because we were supposed to record this last week, but shit happened. And
Yeah.
you were like, fuck it, I'll rewatch Crawl. I like the movie.
And I meant to.
So neither of us have seen this movie in about a week.
Week and a half.
Yeah. But yeah, it's at this point we've covered Rogue and we covered Alligator. Man, Alligator seems like a lifetime ago.
We were much younger.
Yeah. But Crawl. When how did you hear about it? When was the first time you watched it?
God, how did I hear about it? It had to have been like there was some sort of buzz around this movie. And if there was buzz, it probably wasn't, but maybe like a week before it was released theatrically. Because this isn't like, you're gonna see the trailer 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
And then I kept hearing good things, and then I forgot where I watched it on. It wasn't in the theater. I watched it at home, and then after I watched it, I heard more good things, and then like Quentin Tarantino said it was his favorite movie of 2019.
Yeah. I'd seen the previews on TV. I don't. I want to say I'm pretty sure you watched it before I did because you told me it was worth watching, and then I checked it out.
Mm.
And then,
And
3 years later, we're like, let's talk about it on a podcast.
yeah, I mean, this is probably the greatest accomplishment the movie has, right?
Indeed.
In fact, we're talking about it.
Well, that it has Barry Pepper.
Who's really good in this movie. He's pretty good. And I did watch the special features on YouTube. They're available.
Yeah.
And maybe I just completely looked away the first time I saw this, or the subsequent viewings. But like, I forgot Sam Raimi produced this. Like,
I didn't even know that until I had rewatched it, and I saw it in the credits.
yeah. But this seems like a movie he would produce, you know? This is,
Well, Sam Raimi seems like, as far as like producing movies, he seems like he's the type of person that will, just produce like whatever, not in a bad way, but like,
there's no snobbery.
yeah, exactly. That's a
Yeah.
better way of saying it because I was struggling. I'm just like, what am I trying to say? And it's like my brain turned to mush.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here staring at the screen. But thankfully, you saved me on that one because I was floundering.
Well, I think Raimi, according to the special features, he had really wanted to work with the director Alexander
Aja.
Aja, and he had. What did he? It was 2006. Can you name? I can't think of the movie, but he. Because hang on.
If you're
I know.
looking for his movie, I got my Wikipedia pulled up. Filmography. Oh, he did High Tension.
Yes, it was High Tension that got him noticed, and so Raimi had pegged him to do a 2006 movie, but Aja had already committed to The Hills Have Eyes,
Yeah, I see that.
so he couldn't do it. And then they finally circled back together for this movie. But look, there's been a lot of shitty horror remakes in the 2000s, a lot of bad ones.
We're looking at you, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Definitely Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh yeah, what a shit
But
show.
yeah, I mean, we'll eventually get there when we're like way older. But
I periodically rewatch it just to remind myself how bad it is.
there's some things I like about it.
But anyways,
But-
I diverted you from what you were talking about.
But Nightmare has no redeeming qualities besides Clancy Brown. But people forget he was in that movie. But I like The Hills Have Eyes. There's a couple of things that the kids turn it into MacGyver when they're in the RV. But I
Yeah.
kind of like The Hills Have Eyes. I like how hardcore it was.
I'm going to have to go back and
And it-
rewatch it.
Yeah, and High Tension's supposed to be like a really good French movie. Like,
Yeah,
and I like Piranha. I think he did the sequel though.
we were, or not we, but the guy that does my tattoos now. We were talking about High Tension, and he was telling me he's seen it,
Mm-hmm.
and he said it was a good movie.
Yeah. I think it's sort of like I think there's another French horror movie around that time called Martyrs.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good too.
And then there was, I don't know. I think there's two versions of it. There's an American version, and there's like the original version of the movie called Funny Games.
Is that? It might be French. It might be Dutch. Yeah, I've seen the American version.
I've actually never seen it. It's one of those ones I keep looking at and be like, I'm gonna watch this, and then I just never do for whatever reason. But I've heard they were good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the foreign is better than the American. I don't know why I say that. I just figured they because Funny Games, the American version, the movie goes dark.
Yeah.
Obviously, and it's intense in certain scenes, and it's just this building tension that's just yeah, it's good. You should check it out.
Well, if iTunes would go ahead and put some more horror movies on sale, it's Friday the 13th when we're recording this. I probably shouldn't have said that because it might take 2 months for this to come out. But
Most def, yeah.
at the time of this recording, it is Friday the 13th in October. And when's the last time that's happened?
I know we should I don't know. We should talk a little bit about the Friday 13th series. I know Daniel's not here, but god damn it, it is Halloween, Friday 13th.
Yeah, so we're actually going to watch some movies tonight. We had made plans on it just like in Discord. Chris,
What movies?
well, Chris
Yeah.
wants us to watch a movie called Imposter, which is based off of a Philip K. Dick short story.
Yeah, I know it. It's not too Octobery, but
He keeps trying to tell me like it's a sci-fi horror movie, and I'm interested in watching it. Like what I read about it seems like it's a good movie, and the user reviews that I read on it, people seem to enjoy
who's
it.
in it? Is it Guy Pearce or Gary Sinise?
Gary Sinise, who I first saw.
I like Gary Sinise, but it'd be a lot cooler if it was Guy Pearce.
I first saw Gary Sinise in The Stand.
Yeah, he played the lead guy, didn't he? Yeah,
Stu Redmond, I think. Was his
yeah,
name.
Stu Redmond. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to watch that one, and then maybe we'll watch another one. Another one. I don't know.
You should watch Talk to Me, man.
Well, when it becomes affordable, I will. I keep looking.
Wait,
Why?
do you have Imposter?
No, Chris has it.
Oh, okay.
You remember? I live my life by the code of the Ninja Turtles. And if you remember,
Why, no, never pay full price for
price.
late pieces.
yeah,
Yeah.
never pay full price for movies.
I live my code by the Ninja Turtles as well. If you remember, Ninja Kick the Damn Rabbit.
Ninja kicked the damn rabbit.
What was I going to say? It was something brilliant.
The world's losing out now.
I know. Fuck it. It's gone.
Wonderful.
We should do that. We should do that one time, though.
Ninja Turtles?
No, watch a movie together.
Oh.
We went on a little kick there where
Oh yeah, we
we
can.
watched some movies.
We just have to. We have to plan it out, just because of our schedules, obviously. Because you work, I work. I would probably be available next Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could do one. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Did you watch Terrifier 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We watched both of those in Discord.
Jesus, man.
Dude,
you
I-
made them watch it.
I love Terrifier.
I know.
I do. I don't know what it is about those movies.
You got a soft spot for it, yeah.
I do. I love both of them.
And I got a soft spot for Hatchet, and apparently nobody really cares for that trilogy. And I'm like, it's like Jason Voorhees, just 2006. Like, what the fuck's the problem, you know?
Yeah.
But apparently, yeah, people don't really. It didn't quite live on like you thought it would.
Well, they made like 4 movies.
Yeah, but they're not like the cult status. Like, it's not as beloved as you would. Like, the horror community, I don't think really gravitated as.
I think maybe it has to do with character design, right? Because when you think about Nightmare on Elm Street, you have an iconic character in Freddy Krueger. In not Nightmare on Elm Street, I just said that. In Friday the 13th, you have an iconic character in Jason with the hockey mask. And like Texas Chainsaw, you have Leatherface. And even, and I don't know if this will make sense when I say it, but they even have like, you can recognize them by silhouettes, even without like seeing their face. You could see the silhouette of like my Freddy Krueger shirt that you said he was doing the jazz fingers on. There's no detail in Freddy because it's just a black outline against a red backdrop, but you immediately recognize it. But if you did a shirt with Victor Crowley like that, would you recognize it? Would you know who it is? I mean, if you just see Victor Crowley himself, do you recognize him? And I think maybe that's part of it, because just if there had been something more attention grabbing about the character, but I could be wrong. I'm no rocket scientist.
I also, I also think because Terrifier also, like, it does have its small legion of fans, but there's a lot of people who kind of rally against it. Same with Hatchet, doesn't get that much love, and I think it's that over the top gore
Yeah.
that you're either game for or it's a turnoff.
Oh yeah, it's if you're queasy about things, then Terrifier is not the movie series for you.
No, and I'm hugging that line. Like, I really am. Like, sometimes it's just a little, like, the difference to me is Hatchet seems like it's doing it for fun, and it feels like the writer director of Terrifier is like, look at it, you motherfucker. Look at you, like,
Yeah,
yeah, fucking look at it.
it's intense, and I think
Yeah.
Hatchets are. I mean, I like the Hatchet movies, the ones I've seen. I mean, they're more fun. Terrifier is just like you said.
Like,
I'm
they
gonna make
revel
you-
in it.
I'm going to make you
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like, they've glued your eyelids open. It's like that scene in part 2 when he kills that girl, and then he's like slicing her back. And then he goes out and he brings in salt.
And bleach.
And it's just like, and bleach, and it's just like,
Oh yeah,
it's just a little too far. It's a little, I mean, it is.
well, and I think part of that too is because the guy that made the movies was a special effects guy, so you're getting like a special effects showcase in those movies. And it
But you
also,
can watch Night of the Living Dead 1990, and Savini's the special effects guy. He's not like, it looks like this guy's combing in his pants while he's doing it,
well,
you
and
know?
it reminds me a little bit, and we're going to, spoiler alert. We're going to. I think it's our next thing we're going to cover, but it's kind of like Giallo, because some of those Giallo movies are intense with their special effects and like eye trauma. And we're looking at you, Fulci.
Yeah, this is gonna be a rough one for me, man. I will say, I've recently watched the original Suspiria, and there's no eye trauma in it, but there is like scenes to where it's fucking intense. Like, this girl just falls into this razor wire, like a pool of it,
Yeah.
and she's in it, and you see her struggling, and it's just like, that's tough, man. It's tough.
I have never actually seen Suspiria.
It's good.
So, because
That's good.
my, well, I guess we should save it for when we talk about it, but I will say, like, me watching Giallo just kind of came about once I started watching Shudder, in the past couple of years, because it's made it more accessible. And then Joe Bob Briggs has done a couple episodes with it. Like, they did Tenebrae, I think, and Deep Red. Excuse me. So it kind of,
And the House by the Cemetery, I think they did.
yeah.
Like, they've done, yeah.
So that's what's kind of got me into it and watching it a little bit. Like, because I think there's an Italian movie that we've both seen that we both like, but it's not Giallo.
Demons?
Demons.
Demons and Demons 2. I like Demons 2 a lot, too.
Yeah. And those are, I mean, like, Demons was an intense movie. Like, the special effect, the one that always gets me is the very first one when the girl puts the mask on and she has like that pulsing spot in her face that burst. Ugh.
And then she goes into the bathroom and Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good movie though.
Yeah, it's so
It's-
good.
But it's in your face nonstop once it gets started.
It is, yeah. But it's fun. It's fun, you know. Same with Demons 2. Demons 2 is Demons 1, but it's just in a high rise apartment. Same fucking thing.
Yeah, so it's like
Except they come out of the TV.
did you speaking of high rise apartments, did you get a chance to watch Evil Dead Rise?
Not yet. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why I've I started watching for the first time Peaky Blinders. And then I watched the Beckham documentary on Netflix.
David Beckham?
Yes. I have to say, he's like one of my favorite athletes. I don't even like soccer. I like David Beckham. Like, he's like, obviously, you know, like he was the golden boy at like
Yeah,
at a young age.
He was the face of soccer for a while, it seemed like. At least for
Yeah.
like American audiences. I don't know about worldwide,
Oh yeah,
but for us.
Oh yeah, worldwide, yeah. And he just seemed like a nice guy though. Like despite that, he comes from like humble beginnings,
Yeah.
and I always root for people who have humility, humble. And he could have been like the biggest dickhead, and we see it all the time with people, you know, who reach that level of celebrity. Even people who don't even come nearly as close to it be a dickhead.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's like a straight up good dude. It's like, how can you not root for that guy, you know? But I highly recommend it. And I was talking to some soccer guys here. I'm like, yeah, I watched that Beckham Netflix documentary. And they're like, oh, I've seen about 20 documentaries on David Beckham. I'm like, well, fuck, I haven't. I've seen one. I don't, you know? But have you seen Peaky Blinders?
I think I may have seen like the first episode.
Okay.
I actually don't have my Netflix subscription active right now. I activate it whenever Bailey comes to visit because there's a lot of stuff she likes to watch on Netflix. And there's things on there I'd watch, but not enough for me to have another streaming service to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, how many do you got now?
Paramount, Disney Plus, like the Disney Plus package is like $20 a month because it's Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and
Hulu?
Hulu. That's it, yeah. Which that's where you access the ESPN. And I've got that because well, there's a lot of good content on Hulu. Like you can watch old King of the Hill episodes and shit like that. But I also got it because ESPN Plus lets me watch live hockey
Mm-hmm.
without having to actually have the live streaming service. So that's nice. Like I told you, I mean, last night, you know, I watched the Dallas Stars play the St. Louis Blues, and I would tell you, man, like, because I know we've talked about it in the past, and you've got kind of fed up with the BS of the NFL before. You should start watching hockey. Like once you understand a little bit about it, and it starts making sense, it's so fun to watch.
I know. I can imagine. It's the time difference. Because, you know, obviously I live in Sweden.
Yeah,
A lot of, you know, hockey's number 2 behind soccer. Even though they're way better at hockey. It's like, come on, bro. I mean, you know, you're not good at soccer. What are y'all doing? But that's you know, people have to stay up so late. But I will say this. Like, I would get into the SHL here,
yeah,
which is the Swedish Hockey League, because that's pretty much proper minor leagues for the NHL. You
Yeah.
know, they're that good. But yeah, I can imagine I would thoroughly enjoy hockey. It's fast, it's physical. You know,
dude. I was watching another game. I think it might have been God, who was the Chicago Blackhawks.
they're supposed to be the worst team, right?
Well, they were pretty bad last year. They ended up winning the draft lottery so they could draft Connor Bedard.
I think in that power rankings, I remember them being 32.
Yeah, and this kid's supposed to be like
The savior?
Yeah, he was like an Andrew Luck type prospect, you know, generational talent. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I was watching it, and they got to fighting, and one dude comes skating over and just leaped in the air and jumped on top of the two guys fighting. It was great.
How much fighting is there still?
I don't know. I haven't seen just like a ton of games with fighting, but like they fought the other night. They were throwing some
Is Connor
punches.
Bedard Canadian?
I don't know. We can look it up.
He's got to be. I mean, when's the last time America's had the number one overall hockey draft pick?
Yeah, he's a Canadian player.
Yeah.
He's from Vancouver. So, we took a long way to get here, but let's talk about Crawl. We'll get some of this information out of the way, and then we can get into it. Crawl came out July 12th, 2019. It's a brisk 87 minutes long. Directed by Alexandra Aja, like we said. Starring Kaya.
This is a hard one. You take it, brother.
Dude, I can't even read my writing. Kaya Scodelario and Barry Pepper.
That's about it.
And yeah, it's not a lot of people in this movie. Had a budget of this is 13 to 15 million, and had a box office of 91.7 million. So it made a little money.
Wow. Worldwide, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Not
Way to go, Crawl.
exactly. Had a modest budget and made about 5 times what they spent, or a little more.
Yeah. Hell, I didn't realize it had did that well.
So, did I? Yeah, I think I already discussed when I first watched it. I'm sorry, I'm just losing my mind here while we're
Yeah.
podcasting. The movie opens, and in opening credits, we're establishing that the main character is a swimmer.
Swims for the college
Florida.
Florida Gators.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even think about that until you just said it. So, wow. I'm a moron.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect though, because it sets up she's a swimmer, and it sets up that she's not the best, and that it is literally a category 5.
Well,
I mean, they should be evacuating because it's
also-
outside in the windows. You see it outside.
yeah, it also sets up that her dad's pushing her.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see like the flashback, and, and he's talking to her and stuff like that. Yeah, and like you said, there's a fucking hurricane coming, and people are supposed to be evacuating, and there's an alligator farm. Did you catch that sign?
No,
Yeah, so
when
like
she's driving to her dad.
I think so. I think it was when they show it. But yeah, alligator farm. So there's alligators all over this movie. Florida Gator, alligator farms. Just
Yeah, because what was the town name? Because I don't really know where this town's located at. I mean, obviously on the coast, but yeah, where's Gainesville at? Is it northern Florida?
dude, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I know where Orlando's at.
I know where Miami's at. Like, I guess Orlando's a little bit. I know Orlando's north of Miami, and then it's Tallahassee, then Gainesville. But it was like a 2-hour drive for her, right, to get to her dad.
I can't remember. What I remember is that
Her
When
sister
she-
calls.
yeah, her sister calls and they kind of go back and forth, and there's some tension there. But she's driving, and she on the road they have the cops that are turning people around, and these cops are just. She talks to him. She's like, "I need to go check on my dad." He's like, "I can't let you through," and she's like, "Okay," and then she turns around and just drives around them, and the cops are just like, "Oh well, fuck it."
Fuck it, because they also, like, the sister calls her right after her swim meet, and she's like, I can't get in touch with dad. He's not answering his phone. You know, obviously there's a Cat 5.
Yeah.
And then the cop, so that sets up that. So when she talks to the cop knows her, and he had a thing for the older sister. So it sets up this, and it sets up they know each other at least by on a first name basis, knew each other growing up in this town.
Well,
Because that kind of helps later.
it sounds like the older sister and him got caught.
Yeah. And he kind of fell in love with getting his first piece, probably. Because he's like, tell her I said hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's like the first 5 minutes. The movie wastes no time. Obviously, you said 86 minutes. This movie's humming. So she goes to where her dad lives, like this condo.
Yeah.
He's not there. She picks up the dog. And then she sees like just mail from where they grew up as a family. Like the mom and dad are divorced. So then she goes there. And she's got this dog with her. The dog's an important part of this movie because it's put there partly to let the characters know when there's alligators around, but partly to have like an emotional investment with the audience.
Yeah.
Because you do not want anything to happen to this dog. And it takes her a while to find her dad, who's played by Barry Pepper.
Who, you know, Barry Pepper's one of those actors that you know his face, but you may not know his name. You see him, and you're like, oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And he never quite reached those heights of superstardom. But he's got a recognizable face. And when you see him in movies, you know, he does a good job. You're not like, oh, shit, Barry Pepper's in this movie. Fuck that. Like, no, there's that guy I saw in that other thing.
When's the last time you seen True Grit? The Coen brothers.
It's been a minute.
You know he's in that. He plays the heavy.
Yeah.
And he should have been nominated for an Oscar for a supporting actor. He's so good in True Grit. I mean, obviously, we know him from Saving Private Ryan, 25th Hour. Your favorite movie, Battlefield Earth.
Oh, yeah. God, boy, you talk about a stinker, man. A piece of shit.
I've never watched it.
I did. I watched it. And I think I watched it because it was sci-fi, and I was just like, you know, I like watching some sci-fi.
At the time, you had no idea.
Yeah. And man, no, that movie is, ugh. Like, that deserves all the hatred it got.
Oh, and it still gets it. Yeah.
That movie sucks.
I mean, even Cruz wouldn't touch it, who loves L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah. Somebody's going to come back later and tell me, like, oh, I love Battlefield Earth. And I'll be like, you're a Scientologist. That's the only way you love that movie.
Like the quickest way to find a Scientologist is
Yeah,
if they
what's your
defend
favorite
Battlefield
movie?
Earth.
Yeah, what's your favorite movie? It's Battlefield Earth. You've been outed. Fuck.
Well, they probably out themselves pretty easily by asking you to take tests. What is that test called? I've seen that them set up a booth. It starts with a C. It's calisthenics. I want to say. No, what is it? What is it?
Dude, I don't know. I'm not really into the whole religion thing, much less Scientology.
Hang on. Scientology test.
Scientology test.
What is it?
Here we go. We are looking this up live, people.
I thought it was. Yeah, we are.
Have you ever read about Scientology?
No. Well, you know, just from what South Park has told me.
From what South Park's told you? I've looked it up on like Wikipedia before and checked it out just to read about it, and man, it's out there.
Oh, fucking of course it is.
It's one of those things where it's to me, it's like flat earthers. Like, you should know better.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of flat earth, I heard a piece of Talk is Jericho podcast the other day, and he had a person on there that was a flat earther, and he was trying to explain how the world was flat. And I'm just like, how can you believe that, right? There's too much evidence that points, science, and I know the jury's still out on science, but the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. If the earth was flat, wouldn't it have to, once it sets in the west, have to rise back up in the west and come back over to the east? Because it couldn't go around the earth.
Well, we actually have like physical documentation that the Earth is indeed round.
Round.
Like, we've taken pictures
From space.
from space with not only from NASA astronauts, but also fucking satellites.
And
And
you've had ships that have sailed around the world.
yeah,
And the key word being around. They sailed around.
well, look, you can look on a clear day, and if there's not a lot of trees, you can see like how the sky is. There's a curvature to it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why you would give a flat earther a platform.
Man.
I don't. It's
You
like
know-
giving a platform to Ted Nugent, man. Like, what are
what's really
doing?
going to suck? What's really going to suck is if the majority of our audience is flat earthers.
That's on us.
That's on us.
That's on us.
We've encouraged that behavior.
Yeah. And then we got to become flat earthers because that's our people.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, we're their leader now.
We're the leader. Oh, man. I like how you promoted us to the lead.
Well, we've got to be, right? And we'll bring them on the podcast.
And I think Jericho asked him too, man, when he was like, I think he said, "What about pictures of the Earth that show it's round?" Like I said, I didn't listen to very much of it because it was on my drive home from work, and my drive's only like 6 minutes, So, and I wasn't about to sit in the garage listening to Talk is Jericho.
God, I tried to listen to Talk is Jericho years ago, and it was just fucking littered with ads. I mean, it was just like, I don't even care if it's like a wrestler I want to hear,
No.
just
Is this coming out of like jealousy because we don't have any ads?
well, I'm sure if you listen to us on certain platforms, like I use Overcast.
Man, they better not be running ads during our podcast. We're not getting
Oh,
any
yeah.
money.
No, but they'll run them on all of them, man. Like, some of them are paid ads. You can tell when the podcaster, but some of them they'll just cut. But no, I mean, look, I do not and cannot listen to Joe Rogan, but I think he puts all his ads up front, which I respect.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, man, just get past the ads and you're good, But no, it was just, I don't know. I don't know how it is now with Talk is Jericho. I mean, if he's got flat earthers on, maybe he's not doing too good.
I don't know. Like I said, it popped up on Fight Nation, the satellite radio station. They play it, and I like listening to Unlocking the Cage with Jimmy Smith sometimes when they talk about it.
Is that an MMA?
Yeah. And Jimmy Smith, it just seems like a really knowledgeable guy about it, because he used to fight himself.
I don't know who he is.
He
You
was
said Jimmy Smits?
Smith.
I wish Jimmy Smits did a MMA podcast.
Jimmy Smith was an announcer on Raw briefly until they had announced the merger, and then I think he got let go.
With the merger that just happened.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so I'll watch that channel. But that has nothing to do with Carl. We keep deviating from Carl.
Yeah, it's not because we don't want to talk about Crawl. It's like
It's
we can get this
80s.
podcast done in 7 minutes.
Yeah, because I say Crawl's a short movie with a very simple plot. But yeah, she ends up going to the house. She went to the condo first, and then she goes to the house, and she can't find her dad anywhere. She calls his cell phone. She hears it ringing, and it's like in the kitchen or some shit like that. And eventually, she ends up in the crawl space beneath the house.
I think because the dog is barking.
Yeah. And she gets down there.
And
she's
her first telltale sign, because she's in flip flops.
Yeah.
We're in Florida. She steps in this big pile of alligator shit, or at least what it looks like alligator shit.
Oh, I forgot.
Did you
about
notice that? It couldn't have been mud.
that. Man, and then it's all squishy between your toes.
Ugh.
Ugh,
I'd rather
right.
watch Terrifier 2 than just think about squishy
Hey,
alligator shit.
we don't besmirch Terrifier 2 on this podcast or Terrifier 1. I won't stand for it. Love those movies.
God. Yeah.
We're going to cover them someday.
All 3 hours of Terrifier 2.
Terrifier
Terrifier 2
2
had
is-
no business being fucking
That movie
2.5
long.
hours.
Well, 30 minutes of that was spent like on one kill.
Jesus. I mean, it kept going. It did. It really did. But she finds Barry Pepper. He's knocked out. But he's also wounded. Like a gator's already gotten him. And you don't know that. Well, you do know that. You go into a movie called Crawl, I guess.
Well, didn't they? Did she see the gator before she saw her dad? Or I couldn't
She's
remember.
dragging him.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because she puts him on
The tarp.
the tarp, and because I remember watching that scene. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty ingenious.
Yeah.
Look at you. I would have just been dragging him like a dumbass.
Yeah, I would have just left him and just been like, my dad died. I don't know what
He
happened.
died. He had insurance, right?
I just saw the paper, which is a plot point later, the life insurance. But yeah, that's the first time she sees him. And then it's intense because she's almost to the steps. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Almost.
Because it busts through the stairs.
Yeah. It busts through the stairs. And then, so she's trying to drag her dad. And finally, they get safe because there's a lot of pipes. He finally wakes up and he's like, obviously, he tells her, he's like, there's a gator here. But does he tell her there's two?
No, he just says
No,
one.
she has to learn that on her own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she dropped her phone. Yeah.
Yep. And then the gator conveniently stepped on it.
Yes. Yeah. And of course, smashed it to smithereens.
Smashed the shit out of that phone.
Yeah, he did. God damn.
Hey, what was the dog's name? Do you remember? I mean, I got it pulled up because of Wikipedia, but I was just going to see if you remember.
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah. And Sugar's like this little Pomeranian type dog, you know. Wouldn't even made a dent in the gator's appetite if he did eat it. You know?
We, two alligators. So we find out that there's two alligators in the basement,
Yep.
and the basement starts to flood because it's a Category 5 hurricane, and there's a drain pipe. And this basement's filling up with water. Well, anyways, and you're probably thinking like, oh, well, this sounds like there's not going to be a lot of deaths in this movie because there's only two people here and a dog, and they're safe behind these bars, blah, blah, blah. What's going to happen? Well, thankfully, just like real life, there's some fucking people looting in the hurricane
Yeah.
and stole, or were in the process of stealing a fucking ATM out of this store that's across the road from the house.
They got it on the fucking boat.
They did.
God bless them.
And
And
you got that ATM on the boat, and you got the other guy that's still in there just fucking stealing snacks and
stealing sunglasses.
Yeah.
And eating hot dogs. And
It's,
eating hot dogs that don't even look good. Like I've seen
they don't.
I've seen like some gas station hot dogs be like, damn, I bet you that's tasty. This shit was like still pink.
Yeah.
Like you need to get it a good crisp brown.
It looked like it just came out of the package.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I'm going to eat this.
So they do introduce that, and the first thing that went through my mind is I don't even know if you've seen this movie. Do you remember Hard Rain?
Oh my god, it's been so long.
Christian Slater,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Morgan Freeman,
wasn't it Christian Slater? Yeah,
and Dennis Quaid. Randy Quaid was the bad guy.
Hard
The
Rain.
bad guy sheriff, yeah. I kept thinking of Hard Rain, like when they were stealing. But of course, like they're trying to get the attention of the people. And no, that's a good scene. It's not quite as good as when the cops roll up.
Yeah. Well, it's adding to the body count because otherwise, because if nobody shows up, you don't have a body count in this movie.
No, it's needed. And look, people, I mean, I didn't think it was a bridge too far that people were trying to loot.
Yeah. Well,
It's not.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because I'm sure it really happens. Like if people stay behind. But what it did do also is it established that there's a bunch of fucking alligators outside too. Like there's alligators everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, because this drainage pipe, because when she walks in to the house the first time, there's like a sign for the lake having gators. Mm-hmm. Like this area it's fucking Florida. Obviously, there's gators, but like it was a sign that specifically said, caution, there's fucking alligators here.
Yeah.
And I was telling Reese yesterday, because when I'm watching the movie now, maybe not the first time, I'm watching it now, I'm like, this movie probably could have a couple of boas in it too, because it's fucking Florida. You know?
Yeah.
Because Florida is like, the ecosystem is getting. He told me there's anacondas in Florida now. I'm like, I don't know about that. But their ecosystem, Florida's ecosystem, is getting fucked up now because there's so many people have kept boas as pets and then let them go when they get too big. And that system's not there to allow like an apex predator,
Yeah.
like a boa constrictor to. So it's like killing off birds and shit. But man, they could have had a boa in this fucking water underneath this house. Just pump up the. I'm sure Asylum made a movie with gators and boas.
Well, you got oh my god, was it Lake Placid Anacondas where they made the Versus movie? Lake Placid versus Anaconda. There's literally a movie called that. I've never seen it. I just see it pop up on like Blu-ray.com when I'm looking at movies. Yeah, Lake Placid versus Anaconda. It's not even like alligator versus anaconda. It's Lake Placid.
Dude, there are like 15 of those movies like that. Like, no shit. Like, all made for, and I'm not even trying to be funny, maybe made for like $50,000.
Oh, they got to be like movies that played on Sci-Fi.
Yeah. That originally, that's where that market was. And then, like, I don't know how people watch them now. Because then you could watch it on Sci-Fi because you're bored. Or Asylum used to try to trick people with the mockbusters, like the
Yeah.
blockbusters, like, and you could trick people back when, and people probably don't remember this, for 8 months, there was a moment where Redbox ruled the world, or ruled America. That was it. It was like right before Netflix became, and you could confuse people. You put in like, I don't know what Transformers was called. They made a Transformers. They made
I
an
know,
Avengers
I
one.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it. I didn't watch it, but I've seen like the box art and shit.
Yeah. You confuse some 70-year-old woman to rent it, thinking it's Michael Bay. But yeah, they could have had boas
In
in
that
this,
case,
man.
though, the mockbuster might be better than the blockbuster.
I would say good chance,
I've
especially if they started copying the Fast and Furious movies. That'd be a low bar to cross to be better than those.
yeah. I think I think I was laying on the couch one day and not doing shit, and I think Transformers Age of Extinction came on, the one that's got the Dinobots in it,
Yeah.
and I just didn't have the energy to change the channel, so I sat and watched it,
Well, you're a little curious too.
and then I hated myself for watching it. I'm like, oh my god,
Was it that bad?
it wasn't good.
Who was the lead in that?
Wasn't that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
I thought the dinosaur one was recent, but maybe it probably.
No, the newest one's the one with the Beast Masters or whatever the fuck they're called.
Ah, yes. Because, yeah, I was confusing those. Yeah.
Because you have two Optimus Prime. You have an Optimus Prime and an Optimus Primal.
Lord.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one. I mean, I don't plan on it either. Like I said, this was just merely me like being dead ass lazy. Like,
Well, in all fairness, like I haven't seen any of the Transformers movies, and I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious, besides the first one when it was like a $3 VHS.
when it was still
rental.
about street racing.
Well, when it was trying to be Point Break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're fucking going into space and shit. And
I've seen clips of these movies, and it looks so goddamn dumb. I mean, just when you watch those movies, you have to turn your brain off, like completely. Like, otherwise they don't work. But I know we're on live on Twitch. But can you make a note in the recording?
you can't make it. I can pause the recording. And we
Okay,
can,
let's
if we need to
pause
take yeah, we can take a piss break. I paused it.
Do you need to take a piss break?
Yeah.
Good.
And
Good.
Oh yeah, here we go. Put the break screen up. All right.
Yes. I.
All right, we're back live on Twitch. Did you mute yourself? I can't hear you.
I did. Apologies. What'd you got there?
Lost Irish.
Is it? Oh, is it Irish whiskey? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like Bailey's or something.
No. It's Irish whiskey. It's a new one I tried.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Irish whiskey is like my go-to whiskey now.
Oh, I love some Irish whiskey. Jameson, Bushmills.
Yeah. If I don't know what I want to get, And it's just like, fuck it. Let me go to an old standby. It's Jameson.
Yep. Love it.
If I got a little extra money and I'm wanting to get some Irish whiskey, I get the Jameson Black Barrel.
Never had it. Too poor.
I thought, did we not drink some one time when you came home? I'm pretty sure we did. Hold on, let me restart. So, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that, like, when. Oh, well, shit, let me start this over because I just pushed record, like, in the middle of this sentence. We're talking about Jameson Black Barrel whiskey. And Josh said he never had it. And I'm like, no, you've had it before because we drank it when you came home from Sweden one time. I'm pretty sure.
I know you had some. What were we drinking when we recorded Lionheart?
Oh my God, I don't remember, dude.
It was on the rocks. I want to say. Do you think you could have had scotch?
I've got some scotch, but we weren't drinking scotch because scotch is one of those drinks that I have to practice at.
I still don't care for it. Like, I'd rather have bourbon and Irish whiskey.
Like that, and I've started. Well, you can't see that. It's too.
Okay. Terramana.
Yeah, it's the Rocks tequila.
Is it any good?
I'm not a tequila pro. It tastes okay to me. That's what I was saying. It's like I've tried to get back into drinking tequila. But for those of y'all that don't know, because I don't think I've told this story on here before, but I know Josh has heard it before. I had a bad experience with tequila when I was 19. It was New Year's Eve, 1999. And me and my brother Kevin were drinking. And
Wait. How old was Kevin?
that's not important.
Okay. Okay.
He's 5 years younger than me. So we were drinking, and I had a bottle of Jose Cuervo Gold.
Where was this at? Texas or Mississippi?
Yeah, no, this was in Texas.
In 99.
Yeah, I had. So after I dropped out of college, I briefly moved back to Texas and lived with my mom. And I was
Okay.
building bicycles and furniture for a living at that point. So that's what my stepfather was doing, and he got me a job with him. And so we would go and build bicycles like at Walmart and grills at Home Depot and shit like that when they still hired outside companies to do it. Before they realized that they could just take somebody they have working for them and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, New Year's Eve rolls around, and I buy this bottle of fucking Jose Cuervo Gold, and I drink almost this entire bottle, and then I'm outside on the sidewalk. I fucking throw up, and then pass out right beside it on the sidewalk.
Oh, God. Jesus. Oh, God.
And it took me, and that's why, and that like turned me off at tequila, because there for the longest time, man, just like the smell of tequila and the taste of tequila would make me feel sick. And over the years, I'd get curious and be like, oh, well, it's been a long time since I had tequila. And I would taste a margarita or something, be like, oh, yeah, that's right, I don't like tequila. Well, now here we are, 24 years later, and I can finally drink tequila again.
How do you drink it? You just shoot it?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and I've got some margarita mix and stuff. We'll make margaritas sometimes, but I have drink it straight.
Oh, man. That's... Yeah, I've gotten sick off tequila. Not throw up and pass out beside the regurgitation, but yeah, and there's something, I mean, I guess all liquor's nasty when it comes up, but there is something about tequila. When it comes up, it's got a little stank to it.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. Like, But I've tried, they sold it, but George Clooney's tequila.
Yeah, Casamigos.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was pretty good. But no, I don't fuck with tequila like that.
Yeah.
I want to try mezcal.
No,
You
you're
know,
like, I don't fuck with tequila, but let me get some of this.
I want to try it. Yeah, yeah. Well, I just read a Western book, like Elmore Leonard's first book, and it's a Western, and it's set in Mexico, and all they're drinking is mezcal, and I'm like, it does sound good. Like, I don't know, because it's clear, I think. Yeah.
We'll get you some then. You remember when we saw Pearl Jam, and this just popped up on my Facebook memories recently, but we saw Pearl Jam and that night before, me, you, and
Oh,
Sean,
Jesus Christ.
and we ended up at the fucking absinthe house drinking absinthe
The
and smoking cigars.
worst decision. Like,
Dude, we were so fucked up.
fuck absinthe. Oh my God.
I
that
bought
shit
a bottle
tasted like,
after that. But I lost my
that
little
shit
spoon.
tastes like ass.
Dude, we were.
Tastes like ass.
I know we're so far off base of talking about crawl, but whatever.
Yeah.
You just might have to like accept this episode is not really about a movie and just us randomly talking about shit.
Yeah, we haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a while.
That's true, dude. Oh man, but what a night.
Oh, Sean dips out. Like, we're
Yeah.
all like bar hopping. Sean just dips the fuck out because he has to have Johnny Walker Blue. Has to.
Dude, then he fucking after we get it, he fucking disappears on us and goes back to the hotel room by himself.
Yes. And then we meet like these Dutch guys. You remember that?
We met a couple that was there on their honeymoon too. Remember, they was like from England.
Yeah. And look, I remember being so drunk and talking to this chick who kind of knew Mike McCready. And I'm so drunk, I get so emotional, I start crying in front of her. Like, what the like, I want to redo, I mean, half of that night is erased in the ether because I don't remember most of it. But I look back on like these fragments and I'm so embarrassed.
Dude, I actually remember most of the night. I remember going back to the room and making a mess in the bathroom.
And then giving somebody like $20 the next
Yeah,
day.
it was a $20 tip for the person that had to clean my bathroom. And they cleaned it with bleach, man, because when me and Mitchell came back to the room after he got there, that bathroom smelled horrible.
And I remember me and Sean had shared a room and I could not get up. And I remember you got up and waited in line for 2 hours for Pearl Jam merch.
Yep.
I had no idea how you did that. Like, that might have been the strongest you've ever been. Like, as a human, like your spirit.
I tried to get y'all up because I came to y'all's
you
room and knocked
tried.
on the door
Yeah.
and tried to get y'all to come with me.
Fucking wasn't happening. Wasn't happening. But it was cool, though, because Memphis was just that night. And I'm sure Memphis gets this way during concerts. But it was just, all of Beale Street was just flooded with Pearl Jam fans. Like, the town was like buzzing for this concert, and you could feel it.
Yeah.
And there's just me and you fucking fucked up. Like,
Making friends with people, though.
oh, yeah.
Dude, like there was no strangers that night. Everybody was just fucking chatting and having a good time.
Yeah.
Because we got to that last bar. Remember, they said, we're going to stay open as long as y'all are here, you know? And it was just like a group of people. Nobody knew each other, but we were all there for the same reason, to see Pearl Jam. We all came into town a day early to fucking do Bill Street. And we're in this fucking bar. You're like, yeah, we're going to stay open as long as y'all want. And then about 4 a.m, they're like, yeah, y'all got to go.
All right, y'all
We
gotta
close.
go. Like,
We didn't realize that you weren't going to leave.
we thought this was gonna be like, oh, thank you, one drink and then we're out.
Yeah.
We're like, no, we're gonna take advantage of your hospitality.
That was, man, that was a hard night of drinking.
Yeah, and we started at the hotel bar.
Yeah, that's right. Because we got a complimentary drink. Because I remember,
Befo- we got makers.
yeah. Well, and it was, I think Sean ordered it, and he's like, "Let me get makers," and I think it was mixed with something. And you're like, "Let me get makers on the rocks," and I'm like, "Well, fuck, I can't I can't be less than these guys. Let me get it straight.
And then like we didn't put nothing in our fucking stomach. Like it wasn't like, oh, let's have a nice dinner, then we'll, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, we were all in our hell. Sean might have been in his early 40s. We're all in our 30s. Like we had no business just going like 22-year-olds.
Yeah. And we went, because we left there and went to Silky O'Sullivan's. I remember we got that fucking bucket.
The bucket with 3 straws.
Yep.
And we sat there drinking it like we were all just like in a boyfriend triangle.
No, we ate
Like-
it too. Because I remember getting the nachos. Because they had like the barbecue nachos. And yeah, we're all fucking sharing a bucket of fucking alcohol, sipping on
Yeah. Like fucking Lady and the Tramp style.
it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wish we could do that again. I don't know that I could survive another night like that, though.
Oh no! First, I'd be like, "All right, guys, let's go get like a burger, and I'll start with a light beer,
Right?
and then I'll move on to like Jack and Coke Zero."
Hold on. I feel like you're taking a shot at me because I drink Coke Zero.
No, I fucking love Coke Zero.
Okay.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about
Okay.
like I don't even want Jack and water, Jack on the rocks. I'm like, I need a little bit of.
Well, I was gonna say at this point, all I drink is fucking 0 calorie, 0 sugar soft drinks.
Yeah, me too. Unless it's like, I will treat myself to a Mountain Dew like sometimes when I'm
Can't
watching.
do it. Can't do it. If I go down that rabbit hole, it's like
You ain't coming back.
yeah, it's like heroin, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So I stick to the 0 calorie drinks.
I
I'm
know.
already fat enough.
I know. I get it. I get it.
But yeah, I would be pulling out the fucking Tums and stuff for heartburn and indigestion. All right, guys, who's ready?
It's like, Bone, did you bring the Tylenol just in case? Let's just go ahead and pre-take the Tylenol, guys. Okay?
Oh man, I did.
Bone, I got my backpack. I got like 4 bottles of water. Are we ready, guys?
Shit.
Bone, did you get the shoes with the good arches in it, sweetie? I don't want your feet hurting later, okay?
Dude, oh man, you remember the fucking homeless people, man, when you know, they would be like, "Oh, you got some money?" And they'd ask for money, and then one guy asked me for some money. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have anything. All I have is a debit card." And he's like, "There's an ATM right there."
Oh, what was happening when we were walking back to the hotel?
There was a guy that was bugging us, and then he went to another group, and he started bugging him, and then the woman that was in that group was like, she said something about like, "Don't send him over here to us, like we did it," and I got mad.
Oh, yes, that's it. Yes. Yeah. I remember I was on New Orleans. Like, all I think about, I don't know if you're like this. I live with regret, anxiety, depression, and stress. Just like this cocktail I'm constantly drinking from. But I remember we were at New Orleans the first time Anna Lil had came to Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know, we were like, let's all family trip to New Orleans. And we're sitting on New Orleans, and I got my cowboy boots on. You know.
Yeah, I hear you, Walker.
I know, man. I love them. They just hurt my feet now. But I remember like this homeless guy comes up. He's like, "Hey man, for $5, I bet you I could tell you where you got those boots."
Oh my God, I remember that.
And my dumb ass is like, "Oh, brother, man, there's no way you know that." And he's like, "You got them on the sidewalk." And I'm like, "Fuck, how did I just fall for that?" Like, I could have just went back to the hotel room and slept for the rest of the night because it's so embarrassing. Like,
Dude, oh my God. Remember when we went down there to get your fucking passport or
Yeah.
whatever it was?
no, my residentship.
Oh, your residency, and then fucking Mitchell. He had 2 things he done that night. First was the fucking swan dive onto the
On the
nasty
AIDS,
ass mattress.
the AIDS mattress.
Yeah, that was on the sidewalk. This dude just fucking, without any hesitation, jumps onto it like face first,
Yes. Oh God.
But then when we found a place that had pizza like late at night, because we were after we got back to the room, it was what like 1 a.m. or something like that, and me and you are down at the pool, and there's another group of people that are down there too for a late night swim, and we order pizza. We get two pizzas, one for Courtney and Daniel up in the room, Courtney, Daniel, and Mitchell, and one for me and you down at the pool. And fucking Mitchell comes down there and steals our pizza. I was like, you son
I
of a
forgot
bitch.
about that.
Yeah. And Mitchell, man, didn't he turn up missing at one point? He
Yeah.
did, because we went to the bar and we were like, we were going to do shots of Crown Apple, but we got to the bar and they didn't have any Crown Apple. So you're just like, fuck it, give us shots of Jameson. And the bartender's like, I'm going to do a shot with you guys. And I remember because I gave you a hard time about this. Me and the bartender fucking shoot ours. And I look over and you're sipping yours out of the shot glass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? I thought we were doing shots. And the bartender looked at you kind of side-eyed and everything. And then we look up and Mitchell's gone.
Yeah.
Mitchell's fucking gone. We go outside looking for Mitchell. There's a couple that's out there making out. And I'm like, hey, have y'all seen a little short guy come through?
I mean, okay. Just so we're not completely dunking on Mitchell here, Mitchell's got a lot of muscles.
He does.
He does.
Mitchell's in the best shape of all of us.
Oh God, yeah, easy by country mile. Yeah. Anyway, back to crawl.
Yeah, back to crawl. It's been a minute, but yeah, so we're in the crawl space under the house. We've established that there's two gators because she goes out trying to do something. I can't remember what it was.
She gets her phone.
Oh yeah.
She goes to get her phone, and then that's when the other one sort of appears out of the darkness.
Oh, we were talking about the looters though, because we
Yes.
established that there's a bunch of alligators outside also. So this place is just fucking swarming with gators.
Oh, it's
And-
gator heaven.
And just think like, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, man, I bet it's great to live in fucking Florida, beaches, sunshine, and fucking alligators.
And pythons, which were not addressed in this movie.
Yeah,
But
no, that's going to be the sequel.
on top of that, you
It
have
can't be
Florida,
called-
man.
It can't
Yeah.
be called Slither though, because there's already a movie called Slither.
No, it'd be crawl 2. Crawl faster.
Crawl faster.
I don't know.
Oh man.
What
Yeah.
do you
so-
think about the title of this movie?
Well, I thought it fit, you know, because when you see it at a glance and you're just like, crawl, what the fuck is that? But then you realize that the majority of this movie takes place in the crawl space.
Crawl space.
Yes, with alligators that are down there fucking crawling, with people that are crawling. Like the title fits once you
It does. It just
think about it.
doesn't sound like a movie that would be remembered.
No, it
Crawl.
sounds like a V movie.
It does.
And then you
does.
could also, like, you could have used this title, like, it's a title that you could have used on so many different things. You could have used it for this movie. You could use it for a movie about fucking spiders or insects or something like that, you know? Mm-hmm. You could, I mean, it's a generic name, but it works.
It does
fits
work.
the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the type of title though that would draw you in. Like we were talking about Hatchet earlier, and if you're just like, you know, you're watching horror movies and you're like, and this is going to be in the Wayback Machine, a little nostalgia here for you. If you were at the video store, and remember, because back in the day when we'd go to the video store, you had two ways of picking a fucking movie out: box art and name. Right? Crawl's not the
Box
type-
art number 1.
Yeah. Crawl's not the type of name that you would just pass over and be like, oh, yo, let me watch this.
Yep.
But now if you got them fucking alligators on the cover of that box art, you'd be like, whoa, let me watch this.
Yeah. Well, let's just say this movie came out in 1987. That box art needs to be not a picture, but a drawing, like a painting, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got to be loud and boisterous. It's just
Yeah.
got to be like out there. Look like that alligator's coming off the fucking box art and trying to bite you. Like, whoa, shit, 3D.
Yeah.
This alligator's trying to bite me.
Yeah. I would rent that movie, even with a title like Crawl.
Yep.
But so the looters get it, and again, like you have this ticking time bomb in the movie. It's kind of perfect. The ticking time bomb is that's a category 5 hurricane, and this crawl space is flooding.
Yeah.
And she actually gets to an area in the house that her dad directs her to where you could lift up,
Yep.
but there's shit on top of it, of course.
Well, of course. And
Yeah.
when you talk about this, and I know what you're talking about is there's like a dresser, nightstand, or some shit on top of the panel in the floor, and it's supposed to be like a trap door where you can come out, right?
Yeah.
Later on in the movie, and the reason I'm talking about it now is because you brought it up, but later on in the movie, when the cop comes in the house, this is one problem I have with the movie. Why isn't she like, hey, can you unstick this fucking section of the floor so we can get out?
Well, in the movie's defense, like two cops pull up in a boat. One stays in the boat, one gets out into the house.
Yeah.
Well, he's
And this cop that gets out and goes into the house is the one that banged the older sister, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Tell her I said hey."
yeah. And you can't really hear anything going on with the rain and the wind. But he finally figures out, with the help of the dog, that they're down in the crawl space. So by the time he gets there, they let him know there's gators down here, big ones. And while this is going on, his partner. Now, this is, I normally don't do this. And I'm not judging this movie for it because I don't like to do this a lot, but the propeller gets stuck in something.
Oh yeah.
Now, in these types of boats, you don't have to get out. You just lift the motor up.
Yeah.
He gets out. Okay, whatever. And then he sees the swing, because there's a swing set. And now it's flooded, so he only sees the chain. And he sees it acting funny. You live in Florida, asshole. Like, you should know
Excuse me.
that you don't need to investigate this that much. Get back in the boat, because it's like, what's your curiosity could be fixed by getting on the boat and looking at it. But so once the cop that's in the house, once he hears them call out, there's two gators down here, he stops. And he tries to radio to his partner. Now we got two gators down here. Of course, his partner who investigated the chain, there's like 5 of them. It looks like the end of Temple of Doom when they get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 5 gators. And the cop at the foot of the steps. So he finally gets it, and he gets it pretty hard. It's pretty badass the way he gets it, because the gator like brings him into the crawl space and kind of takes his time with him. So he never really had time to say, "Hey, move this."
So we didn't talk about it, and it's probably because we've been talking about everything else other than Crawl. But can we acknowledge Haley, which is the main character, her superhuman ability to avoid like major damage when getting bit by fucking alligators? Like everybody else is getting fucked up, right? Because like when we first see Barry Pepper, he's passed out because he
The
got
gator took
bit.
a chunk out of his shoulder.
But Haley gets bit in the fucking leg and never misses a beat. And then she gets bit, I think, later on the arm
Yeah.
and never misses a beat. She's just like, yeah, this isn't going to stop me. Poor fucking Barry Pepper gets bit on the arm and gets his goddamn arm ripped off.
That arm ripped the fuck off. She has some pretty strong plot armor
Yeah.
that the other characters do not have. Yeah.
And that, you know, as much as I enjoyed watching the movie, that one does. You're kind of like, how the fuck are you still swimming so fast when you got your leg chomped on?
I know. Well, you can chalk that up to adrenaline.
I mean, I'm no alligatorologist, but I
No,
feel
well, who is? You know, that's like a 10-year degree, I
Yeah.
think.
yeah, you got to put some time into it.
I
I'll tell,
think
I'll
you-
tell you who's a fucking alligatorologist, and that's your buddy Drew. Because I know we've told this story before, but fuck it, tell it again.
yeah.
That time
yeah.
we were camping off of Rattlin Ferry, and Drew saw that rope swing. After we done seen a bunch of gators in the water, Drew's like, "I gotta hit that swing, Daniel. You coming
Yeah.
with me?" Fuck no.
Yeah.
And Drew went out there and fucking did it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing with this movie, you know, like, look, gators are scary. They're dinosaurs, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was a point I did when I watched it originally. That was a point I wanted to make. Not dinosaurs, gators and crocodiles are like the closest things in my mind that we have to like real life monsters. Mm-hmm. They look like something out of a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Whereas like everything else in nature, man, like I get that lions are ferocious, but goddamn if they don't look majestic. Same thing with tigers.
Yeah.
Like you look at them and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. You look at a fucking alligator or crocodile and you're just like, fuck that. I don't want to get
Yeah.
near it. I'm out.
Yeah. That's your natural instinct.
If somebody told me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say like that is the one thing with this movie because alligators are scary naturally, but they do tend to be a lot more docile than crocodiles. Crocodiles don't give a fuck, you know, but alligators, because we have a lot of them in Mississippi. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any in Texas.
Yes.
There is.
Yeah, because we, one year when we were going to Galveston, when I still lived in Mississippi, we were going down Interstate 10, and we stopped at the Texas Welcoming Center, and this one was built over, I guess, like a swampy area, and it had. I've never seen this at any welcome center before, other than this one, but it had this fucking like walkway you could go out on, and you could go out and like look at the fucking gators and shit that were there.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we saw some live gators from the safety of this fucking walkway that was elevated above like the swampy area. Like if you ever find yourself in that direction, I would recommend stopping by just so you can fucking see it. It is cool.
Yeah.
And it's like going to the zoo without having to pay. And I'm all about free shit.
Well, you know, Mississippi's got plenty of gators, and
Yeah, but there was no fucking walkway protecting us from.
no,
If
and-
it was a walkway in Mississippi to protect you from the gators, it'd probably be like fucking Ellis Avenue or State Street or something like that, full of holes.
oh yeah, you couldn't trust it.
Yeah.
You couldn't because they built it with good intentions. The upkeep is with zero
Yeah.
attentions. But yeah, I mean, like, you grew up in Mississippi, yeah, you know, it ain't like gators are a part of everyday life, but they tend to not be, but they are there in mass numbers, but they tend not to fuck with you unless you come across their babies, which we find out why they're in the crawl space.
Yeah, because when she's eventually, God, what was her name? Haley. Haley's eventually like, I'm gonna go for the crawl space, and
Or the drainage pipe.
the drainage pipe, not the crawl space. God damn, this whiskey's taking effect already.
It's doing its job.
Bravo to you. I'm on to some Suntory now.
What is that? Oh, Japanese whiskey.
Yeah. Tastes a
Nice.
little like scotch. But you know, much like tequila, it's one of those things where I'm trying to be able to drink it.
Well, you're trying to become cultured. Let's be
Yes.
honest. Let's be honest. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
you could have saved money and bought a bottle of Jameson and been even happier. But
Well, I didn't know that the Japanese whiskey tasted like scotch when I first bought it. I wanted to try something new. I do like to try new whiskeys, and you know,
yeah,
it's like it's like when you travel, because me and you, I think, are the same way on this, because we've talked about this before. But when we travel and we go to places, we want to eat local. We don't want to eat at a fucking TGI Fridays or something like that because those places are everywhere. You want to eat
Yeah.
at a local restaurant serving local cuisine and have something new. And that's
Preferably local beer.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And look, and I tell people this all the time, and this is another fucking tangent that has nothing to do with crawl, but whatever.
I know.
I tell people this all the time when they ask about Mississippi. Like, there's a lot of faults with Mississippi. There's a lot of things that you could look at and be like, yeah, that place sucks. But two things that immediately fucking come to mind about Mississippi to me that just came to my mind anyways. Fucking swimming holes.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a pretty good fucking craft beer thing going on, man. Mississippi's got some good breweries.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got fucking Lucky
Which is
Town.
new.
Yeah, you got Lucky Town. You got the one out of, I can't even remember what it's called, but the one out of Meridian, the Brown Bottle Ale or some shit like that. I'm probably getting the name wrong. But there's the Biloxi Beach Blonde. Like,
Oh,
there's-
that's good.
Yeah, there's some good beers coming out of fucking Mississippi. And I'm sure that there's good beer coming out of every state. And with that being said, like, what a time to be alive, where you can just go anywhere and get local fucking beer and it be good.
I know. It's living in Sweden, you catch some strays occasionally from being an American.
Yeah.
They sometimes these people can't wait to tell you what they don't like about America. Not always. And a lot of it, what I've noticed for me, the two big things is the coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a coffee guy, so I have to trust you on that one.
I know. You're
It's
an
like you
adult.
said, I'm not an adult.
You're not. You and Daniel. My God.
We're just fucking kids binging on tequila, passing out on sidewalks.
Yeah. And the second thing is they think it's a dunk, but it's not a dunk. It's like talking about like Bud Light beer. I'm like, yeah, bro. Nobody really fucking drinks that shit. Like, what are you talking about? But then I have to tell them. I'm like, yeah. In Mississippi, I would like to see you drink heavy German beer in 98-degree weather.
No
See
shit.
how you feel, okay?
98 degrees is a fucking brisk day, too.
Yes. It's like, no, you need to drink light beer. Like, if you don't, you will die.
No shit.
Like, yeah, have your Czech beer and fucking out by the pool. Yeah. This
Oh,
ain't
man.
fucking European weather, motherfucker.
No shit. Oh, man. We finally caught some fucking cool days here.
It's cool in Mississippi now, like 60s.
Yeah, we had a cold front come through, and obviously, like, they come through and they hit us, and then they hit Mississippi. So we're on the back end of it now. It's starting to warm back up.
It was a cocktease.
Yeah.
Like,
There's nothing like that traditional October weather of 100 degrees.
I mean, it's fucking cold here, man. Jesus.
Like, I like wearing hoodies, and so when those few days come through where it was cool, I was hoodieing it up, buddy. Because
Yeah.
that's what my grandmother gets me for Christmas every year is a fucking hoodie. So I have all these North Face hoodies.
Yeah. Like good, thick hoodies that you can wear, 11 days in Texas?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No shit. And then I have to like balance that out with my fucking hockey jerseys I like to wear.
Yeah, those motherfuckers don't look like they breathe either.
No,
Maybe
gotta,
better than a fucking hoodie.
You gotta be warm down there on the ice.
No, but
Dude.
you're wearing it now.
I know. Well, that's because my apartment is insulated well. So in my apartment right now, it's actually 74 degrees, and I'm not even running the air.
Okay, but if you went outside right now, I don't know what the temp is in Texas.
It's a little
But-
warmer.
Would you wear that?
Well, I did, because before we started recording, I went to grab a couple monsters, And I was like, man, this wasn't a good idea wearing this outside today.
Okay. Yeah.
But look, yeah, that's one thing about this fucking apartment I live in that I love is it stays like if I turn on the air conditioner at night, because in Texas you get to choose your electric plan. So I have free electricity from 8 to 5 a.m., 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. I'll run my air at night and then I'll turn it off in the morning and my apartment stays cool for the majority of the day. It'll start getting warm about the time I turn the air on again.
Wait a minute. In Texas, you can choose.
You get to choose the electric
It's
company you're with. I'm with TXU, but there's other ones you can choose, and then you have to choose a plan. Like it's like choosing a fucking cell phone plan. So I chose free nights.
Yeah, just run that bitch all night.
My light bill has since I've been living here has never been more than like $130.
I don't. What was it back in
So
Flowood?
it could be up above $200 if it was like in the middle of summer,
Mm-hmm.
because you could run that air all fucking day, and it still wouldn't get below like 87 inside.
Was that shitty windows?
Oh, I think part of the problem was it was on the top floor. And then I honestly just don't think that the air conditioner was that great.
Maybe not. I know the windows here, right beside me, suck. So like in the wintertime, because they haven't. Obviously, we're in Sweden, so we don't have freedom. The government controls everything, so they haven't even started running the radiator. You
Yeah.
got to wait for them to cut it on.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking, it's fucking whatever.
Do you?
But like this,
Oh, sorry.
this window's like single pane.
Is
Almost, it's like two pane. Okay,
Okay.
it's two pane, but it's thin. So like you come in here in the morning, man, it's like you're catching. I mean, you can basically tell what the weather's like outside just standing by this fucking window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there was something I was going to say, and I forgot what it was. Wow.
Was it crawl related?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't crawl related. It was. I don't know, man. I can't remember. Let's talk about crawl. So,
Yeah. Let's.
dude, this has turned into a fucking variety episode.
No, it's turned into a good episode.
And-
Unless you really like crawl.
Unless you really, which, and I think both of us do. That's the problem.
No, yeah.
We both, and like, giving away or putting the horse or the cart ahead of the horse. We both like crawl. We both
Yeah.
really enjoy the movie.
But the plot is there's
Very basic.
very basic. It is a what
We're-
do the kids call mid?
Mid? Oh yeah, yeah. I found myself using that phrase some. You know how it is. Like when you're around the word enough, you can't help but to use it.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the first time I've ever used it.
Welcome to the club.
I know. I feel mid for saying mid,
Well,
you know?
dude, but yeah, Crawl, the movie Crawl, right? As we've been talking about, like the plot of the movie is very fucking simple. And we don't do plot synopsis anymore. Although me and Daniel both agree that when you did them, they were fucking great, and we wish you would do more of them. But whatever, if you don't want to, you don't have to. But we do like them. But the plot of Crawl is they're in this crawl space and there's alligators, and they're trying to get out of this crawl space because there's alligators.
And water's rising, daddy's hurt, you know?
But at this point,
What are we going to do?
At this point, before they get out of the crawl space, realistically, Haley's been hurt more than the dad because she got bit on the leg and the arm.
Did she get bit in the arm in the crawl space?
Maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember.
No, she had
time
to
and
have.
time and space are a mystery to me.
No, I think she did. And okay, Can we take another pause for the calls?
Yeah.
Do you
All
need to
right.
pee?
No, I don't. But I just paused it. You're good.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll just sit here and talk to the one viewer on Twitch. You muted yourself. I can't hear what the fuck you're saying.
Your brother or Mitchell? I'm
I don't
assuming.
know.
Sorry.
No, well, one of his Twitch viewers jumped in here also and posted something. It was like fucking hot dogs spinning around. Hey, before you get a restaurant, well, never mind. Go do what you gotta do. We'll talk about this when you come back. Hey, so thank you for those of y'all that are watching on Twitch. We greatly appreciate it. I will say, usually we stay more on topic than what we have today, but like I said, if we just talked about Crawl, it'd be a really short episode, and it's been a minute since we've done an episode, so we're kind of catching up, talking, having a good time. So hopefully y'all are enjoying it too. Appreciate you listening. Hopefully you check out the podcast. We're on all the major platforms, so iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're fucking there, and we've got like 50 something fucking episodes, so we're there ready for you to listen to us. And once again, if you like watching us on Twitch, we got videos on our fucking YouTube channel. Okay, Fireman, I see you. I see you, buddy. But we got our videos on my YouTube channel, State Inspector. That's all one word, lowercase.
We need to correct that.
I know, but that takes time and patience
I know.
and skill. And these are all things that I don't have. Mainly skill. But we appreciate, like I said, we appreciate everybody that's watching or listening. Thanks a lot. Josh is taking notes.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just doodling.
Oh,
I just came back from Nature Called.
All right, so we're coming back. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, Josh. I'm kind of buzzing. I don't know why, because like last week, that bottle of whiskey I showed you,
Yeah.
that Lost Irish, I drank that shit last Thursday. The majority of it. There was only like this little bit left, and it didn't affect it as much as what it's affecting me right now. So I don't know. Maybe it's midday drinking that's got me fucked up.
Yeah, you're also like talking a lot, using a lot of oxygen for. Did you go see your brothers?
Yeah.
Is that yeah?
Yeah, me and Dakota, we hung out. We watched Thursday Night Football. I go like every other week now, and we'll go and we'll hang out. We'll drink and we'll watch football or play Madden or something like that.
How do you drink that Lost Irish? Just on the rocks?
Now, just in a
Straight?
fucking glass, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Woo.
Yeah.
My bad.
Check
Apologies.
yourself.
Apologies to you and yours. I was very mid there. I didn't.
Yeah, I quit cutting my whiskey with cola. I will drink it on the rocks if we have ice, but if not, I just fucking drink it.
I like to cut mine. Obviously, I like it on the rocks, and I like to cut it with a little bit of water.
Well, supposedly cutting it with a little bit of water brings the flavor out.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. I do it because it just helps with the hangover. Because I'm old, man. I need help.
No shit.
But, yeah. But, okay. Crawl. We've established Haley is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's a fucking fantastic swimmer, and she's impervious to teeth.
I'll be honest, when I was watching the movie, because I get so caught up in this movie, because it is, like, pretty adrenalized.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think about it. Like, because this movie, it has some plot holes, because movies have that. Like, when she finds the drainage pipe and she sees the body of the dead cop.
Yeah.
She sees the alligator eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a 3-year student who studied alligator ecology,
Yeah.
I had to drop out. I couldn't hang.
No shit.
But our second year, we learned that alligators like to have their eggs in the sun because they're reptiles.
They're cold
Wait,
blooded.
did we learn? Yeah, they are reptiles. That's the reason why I dropped out. It was too tough, man. It was too fucking tough. But yeah, so the alligator eggs wouldn't be there. But it's intense though because this drainage pipe is, what would you say, like 25 feet?
Oh, you talking about the length of it? Yeah, it's got a little distance to it.
Yeah, and it's
So-
filling up with water.
Yeah,
I mean it's
and you can see that fucking Haley's like a master at holding her breath because she's like fucking up under there looking at it. And let me go ahead and tell you, if that was me and I had to hold my breath and go through that drainage pipe, I'd be dead.
no. Let me just tell you, if I was Haley,
DED dead.
me and my dad would have died pretty quick.
Not Bernie.
I wouldn't even thought to put him on a tarp. I would have
I
been
know.
banging his head against pipes as I was.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'd have been dragging him by like his arm across the dirt, and be like, "You need to lose some weight, Dad."
No, on his hurt arm. I would have been dragging him on his hurt shoulder.
Get
getting
your
dirt
fucking
in
fingers
there.
into the alligator bite so you can get a better grip.
Yeah. Or just telling him, like, Dad, we'll just wash this out with water later. There's a lot of water outside. We'll just clean this in hurricane water. I'm sorry, Dad. I love you. Like, okay. We're both dead.
Both dead.
But she swims through there. And before she goes, she sees like a big gator swim past the drainage pipe.
Yeah.
And again, if this was me, I'd have my contacts in and be like, I can't open my eyes underwater.
Because it'll float away.
My eyes.
Oh man, I know that. I did that before. Lost a contact in the pool because I opened my eyes. Like, hey, can y'all find my contact? Like, no, motherfucker, we can't.
Or let's just say, like, I wasn't wearing my contacts that day and I was wearing my glasses. That gator could be from me to where my monitor is.
Yeah.
Couldn't fucking see him. Like, just swim by me, be like, okay, coast is clear.
This is where, when she gets ready to go to that drain, isn't that where she gets her arm bit and she has the fucking gun? And
Yes.
she shoots the alligator a bunch of fucking times with that gun.
Yes, she gets it from the cop, and then one pops out. I mean, fucking takes her arm like her arm should be off,
Yeah.
and then and it's a pretty cool scene though because she's just unloading on this fucking gator, like with her entire arm in his mouth. But then she could have let her dad know, like, hey, one down, one to go.
Right.
She's like, I'll just save this as a surprise. Like, scared you, Dad? You thought there was two. There's just one. You look like such a pussy, Dad, when you thought there was two gators. The look on your face. But she gets out, and it's a pretty cool scene, though, because she sees the gator. And the gator's just chilling. And she knows she has to get to the front of the house.
Yeah.
And she has, like, these air bubbles come up, which gets the attention of the gator. It's just a cool little moment. And then she has to book it. And she outswims the alligator, which an alligator school, Bone,
Yeah.
we study together. We know that we
Alligatortology.
can't. Yeah, you can't do that.
You guys
But
zigzag.
Haley can. I think that's on land. I don't think that really works in the
Well, I
water.
had to drop out before you did.
Yeah, I carried on. I mean, F
I
plus.
was
grades,
just like,
but-
fuck this. I'm going to something easier. Let me go to crocodileology.
and they were booked up. I
Yeah.
remember because you.
I ended up
That
in
was a hard day for
ecology.
you. Yeah.
Dude, so I wrote this down in my notes. And this is going to be a game of would you rather.
Oh, I love these.
Would you
Give me a
rather
good one.
be eaten by an alligator or would you rather drown?
You know, I normally would go with alligator because I think I would have a heart attack before he can enjoy his dinner.
Yeah.
Like as soon as like if a gator was like a foot away from me, I'd probably just shit my pants and drop dead. Where drowning, you have this. I feel like the fear of death would be, I don't know, so. I don't know. That's a tough one.
So I feel like the three worst ways to die are suffocation, drowning, which I guess would go along with suffocation, kind of,
They're kissing cousins.
and burning to death.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would rather be eaten because there's that chance that it just clamps down on my head and ends it quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas if I'm fucking drowning, you're cognizant of that whole process until you fucking pass out finally,
Yeah. You're aware that you are.
and there's nothing
Dying.
you can do about it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think you're right.
So that's what we've established this episode, people. We'd rather be eaten by alligators than drown.
Please, please kill me, alligator.
So Haley gets outside and she's going to try to get the boat, right? Because
No.
her dad tells her that there's a boat.
No. First, she has to save him because the crawl space is completely
Oh yeah,
submerged
yeah.
in water.
That's right.
And she
Yeah,
has to.
he's just like a fucking set of lips up against the fucking bottom.
Yeah, yeah. Which has got to be scary as fuck because there's still a gator in there.
Yeah,
And you're drowning. I
and
mean,
you're
that's just-
drowning.
yeah.
But she fucking pulls the floorboards up with a crowbar
Mm-hmm.
and pulls her dad through.
And then they get outside. They see the boat and they see the gators. And then this dad's like, there's got to be other options. But he's
Yeah.
like, Haley, you have to swim to the boat.
He's like, well, we can move through the water because they attack based on like sound or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And he's like, we can move across the water. The storm will protect us. And as soon as they start fucking going, they hit the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah, everything goes dead quiet.
Yeah.
But she makes it to the boat. She eventually has to swim to the boat. That's their only way out because now the storm's about to
Yeah.
wreak fucking havoc. Like, get even worse.
And dude, probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie, just because it's so outrageous and it's just so fucking crazy, is she gets to the boat and the fucking storm kicks back up and throws the boat through the fucking house. And
Well,
ends up-
she gets her dad first. She goes back and gets the dad. It's an heroic moment. She gets there barely. I mean,
Yeah.
you see an aerial shot of the one gator who's on her, and it's intense. She gets in. She starts it up. Goes by, gets Sugar and her dad, and then the levees break.
Yeah.
The fucking levees break, and they get thrown into another fucking house.
Oh, I thought
Maybe
it was
the same
I
house.
thought it was the
It might
same
be
house.
Yeah, it is the same house because they know you have to get to the roof.
Yeah.
So it's this perfect screenwriting moment to where like you finally leave what you're trying to escape, and then you get thrust back into it.
Yeah,
They get thrown back into the house. Yeah,
and they're going upstairs and fucking and it says his name is Dave. I just me and Barry are tight, Barry Pepper,
I call him Mr. Pepper, but
Mr. Pepper. Well, you should. It's a sign of respect, and you should show
it
that
is.
to him.
It
Yeah.
is. He was in Saving Private Ryan. God damn it.
I appreciate that about you, Josh.
Yeah, I know. I'm a good guy.
You are. You're a
Thank
fucking
you.
saint.
I know you mean that 1,000%, and there's no sarcasm.
Nope. I know. You're a good friend, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
They get thrown back in the house, though, and they're like, hey, we got to get to the roof. And this is where Barry loses his fucking arm.
And it's hardcore, man.
It
It's-
is. Because it's not like his arm got bit off. His arm gets ripped off.
ripped up. It gets broke first, like because it goes the opposite way.
Yeah. Haley
Fucking
had her
takes it off.
Haley had her whole goddamn arm inside an alligator and come away with scratches. Barry just has his fucking forearm in there and loses his fucking arm.
look, if you're a dad in a movie, you have no plot armor. Like,
Oh no.
you don't.
Nope.
No plot armor. And again, this movie, like when we do our rating for it, we'll talk about it. But this movie, it sets up these so many of these great tense scenes because Haley's in the kitchen, and obviously this house is flooded. So she's hopping on the counter and she sees a walkie-talkie. So she's having to jump from like she has to stay out of the water.
Yeah.
And there's so many like trees and well limbs in the water that man they kind of look like alligators and you don't know what's underneath them because they're covering up the water. So while that's going on, Dave loses his arm, but he gets up the stairs. He's able to lose his arm, move up there,
And not bleed out.
and not bleed out. But does she wrap it? Do they wrap a tourniquet on it?
Maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
There was one part in this movie where I kind of felt a twinge of a cringe. Like I made that rhyme, twinge of a cringe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a poet, Josh. Above all else, I'm a fucking poet. But when she gets to the boat and she's like, apex predator all day. Because you know
Yes.
her dad's
Yeah.
like, you're an apex predator. What are you? Apex predator. And like, no, you know what an apex
Yeah.
predator is? Those fucking alligators that bit your dad's arm off.
Yeah.
You're just lucky. That's what you are.
Very lucky. Very lucky. Like the alligators that managed to bite her still had their baby teeth, but they were
Right.
fully grown. They just had baby
They were
teeth.
gumming her fucking arm and her
Yeah.
leg.
But quick shout out to that actress, Kaya.
Yeah, Kaya.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good in this movie. Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to sound like we're fucking jerking off this movie or whatever because we don't really have anything bad to say about it other than the cringe moment. But the reality of it is, Crawl is a good movie. And if you haven't seen Crawl, you should watch Crawl.
Oh yeah, definitely. I recommend it to anybody because it's
It's a fun
Yeah.
movie.
intense,
Yeah.
very intense. Yeah. And the gators look so fucking good. Like all of this was CG. Like they went to like an Eastern European country to film this. And they built that little neighborhood and then they had to build the crawl space
Yeah.
and you know, this takes place in Florida. So what do you want to do? You want to hire 0 American actors. No American actors in this movie. Barry Pepper, Canadian. No American actors.
I'll say this about all three movies. I thought the special effects were good in all three of them. Like, we didn't watch. You know, sometimes when we cover three movies, you could be like, this movie, the special effects weren't great or whatever. But the special effects in all three of these movies I thought were good. You know, Alligator with the practical effects, Rogue, and in this movie with the CGI. Like, you just love to see good special effects in movies, man. Because, like, you could be watching a movie, and if it's got shitty special effects, it could take you out of the movie. And you're just like,
Yeah, and I normally have like a. I don't have leeway on like scripts. I will have leeway on CGI depending on when it was made. I think you got to a certain extent. To a
Well,
certain extent.
yeah, to a certain extent. If you're, let me see if I can jump in here and anticipate what you're going to say. This is a new game. What was Josh going to say?
Okay.
If
It
you
should be
u-
pretty easy.
If you're using CGI sparingly, and you can make it look adequate, there's some leeway. But if you're the fucking Phantom Menace, where everything in the movie's shot on a green screen and the CGI looks like shit, there's no leeway because you made an active fucking choice to do this entire movie on green screen and CGI, whereas
Oh.
Crawl is a mixture of practical and CGI. Like if this was a George Lucas movie, those houses would have been CGI.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everything would be green screen.
So did I get
You
it
know,
right?
Well, yes, you
Yes.
did, and I was gonna say like there was this time period in the late '90s because I just watched the Alien movie. I didn't watch Prometheus and Covenant again.
Hey, but what'd you say about the Alien movies? They all had something to take away from them, except for
Resurrection. It's still I and look, they like everything inside the spaceship was practical. But they shot a lot of scenes like of the spaceship which was CG, and it just 1997 CG. It like Jurassic Park CG 4 years earlier was just heads and tails. There's something about that period in the 90s where everybody thought they could do CG. Like,
yeah, it was a shiny new
w-
toy.
yeah, like we don't have to go to Industrial Light and Magic. We got this, you know.
Well, if you look at fucking, I mean, I know you're talking about ILM, but if you look at Phantom
I know
Menace,
Phantom Menace. It looks like shit because,
yeah,
like you said, everything was CG.
yeah,
Everything. I mean, there was nothing
George Lucas
that
is
was.
like, you know, the Lord of the Rings did it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Their CGI was mixed with, like, Gollum obviously was CGI, but he looked good. The Fell Beast that the Nazgul rode on looked good, but then everything else was like practical. All the Urkai and the weapons were all practical effects, and so you're like, holy shit, this looks good. Whereas Phantom Menace was just all CGI, and I know we're dicking on George Lucas, and you know
Easy
what?
target.
You deserve it for rolling out Attack of the Clones, because that movie sucked.
So does Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace wasn't great either. Do you ever watch pitch meetings on Screen Rant?
Used to. Haven't watched them in a while.
So I like watching them every now and then. I'll just binge it a little bit. And the one that always sticks out in my mind is the Phantom Menace one. He's like, we need to make a new Star Wars movies. He's like, yeah. He's like, we got to make it for kids. And they're like, okay. He's like, what do kids love? He's like, I know, trade politics. And
Yes,
he's like, yeah, you're right. That's what my kids always tell me all the time. Dad, can I watch a movie about trade politics?
And taxes.
Yeah.
No, trade politics and the movie opened up with didn't they have like an embargo?
Yeah, they had like a blockade going or something.
Yeah. Jesus. But no, and to get back to your point, like Phantom Menace, you were having CG interact with CG. So you're having CG on top of CG,
Yeah.
to where Lord of the Rings was like, it's a real environment that the CG is working with, you know? You know, there's a dude in a green suit climbing that real mountain,
Yeah.
you know, like Gollum, you know?
Yeah.
He's splashing in water.
Andy Serkis had the mocap suit on.
Yeah.
Whereas in Phantom Menace, all those droids, they weren't real people. They were just fucking CGI'd in.
Man, that me and you, we didn't think we could go this long on Crawl.
No, we didn't.
Look at us.
Hey, I just paused. I got to take a piss.
Yeah.
Let me put the break screen up. All right, we're
All
got
right, all
the
right.
live screen back on Twitch. When's the last time you watched Dazed and Confused?
Maybe 3 months ago.
Dude, me too. I watched it recently. It's such a good movie.
It's so fucking good.
It
So
is.
fucking good.
Man, like we're not recording right now, so this won't go into the podcast, but it's live on Twitch. And if you've never fucking watched Dazed and Confused, watch it.
It wasn't his first movie. I think it was his second.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that the movie's just fucking amazing, and like
Yeah.
it's one of those movies where it's like there's really not a point to it, right? It's just a group of kids, last day of school, they're having a party.
It's a day in the life.
Yeah, exactly. And this man, it makes me wish that Jeremy London would have been a bigger star.
I mean, I don't get that from watching it.
Randall
I
Pink
think-
Floyd?
Yeah, I think he was. I think he had his moment. I don't think everybody can be big stars, but it is crazy though. Like, you had Mia Jovovich in it.
Mm-hmm.
You had Parker fucking Posey, who I love. McConaughey, Affleck, Cole Hauser, who's. I'm not saying like whatever, but Cole Hauser. I mean, you just had these. Renee.
Zellweger.
No, Joey Lauren Adams.
Yeah, Joey Lawrence and not Renee. They're similar.
Kind of with their nasally voice. Yeah.
Well, and their look. They're both blondes.
Yeah. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Adam Goldberg, the dude who called out Kevin Spacey to get him in trouble. He played Adam Goldberg's friend with the glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, the redheaded chick. That's Giovanni Ribisi's sister.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like
I
just.
didn't know that.
And they all made this, I think, in Austin, Texas, man, because that's where Linklater's from. He's
Yeah.
from. you
Yeah,
know?
no, it was a Texas movie,
Oh, yeah.
and you could tell because Texas is all about that high school football.
Yeah.
This the arm that's going to throw for 2,000 yards next year, lead us to the championship.
Is that old guy
Yeah,
who you could tell was just a real guy? You know, just old Peepaw got a speaking role in a movie. You know, I love it.
like the only time you see Jeremy London, I think it's Jeremy London. It's not Jason London. It's Jeremy because there's twins.
Yeah.
But the only time you see him like actually throw anything is when he bunches
Throws
up
the paper.
and he's like, "I may play
It's such
next
a-
year, but I'll never sign this."
And it was such a weak throw, too. It was like, bro. And, you know, just being a teenager, young and dumb, like, you're not gonna tell me what to do. Like,
You're not the boss of me.
you're gonna ruin whatever chance you have of a scholarship just because they're
No
like,
shit.
hey, try not to smoke any dope and drink beer. I mean, everybody's gonna do it. Like, you stand
Right.
your ground for no fucking reason.
Well, like, just sign the paper and still do what you're gonna do. Like, if you're that good, let's be real. If you're that good, nobody's gonna suspend you from the team
No.
because they want to win.
Yeah.
They're gonna overlook that transgression. Oh man, dude. Yeah, I fucking love Dazed and Confused, man. It's such a good movie.
Good soundtrack.
Hell yeah. It's like me and my loser friends are gonna go get Aerosmith tickets.
Yeah. And the movie ends with them on their way to Dallas, I think. Or is it Houston?
I think it was Houston.
I think it was Houston to get Aerosmith tickets. And then, I mean, it just ends with Slow Ride.
Yeah, do you remember back in the day when you couldn't buy concert tickets online? You had to actually go to stores to fucking buy them.
Oh, you had to be there
Yeah, so
when
like
the box office opened.
in Mississippi, you had to go to fucking like Bebop Records.
Bebop, yeah.
And I hate that they closed.
I hate that you can't buy concert tickets like that now.
Yeah,
Like now there's surcharges and some Jimmy Jack bullshit.
it is.
I love saying that.
I,
I got that from you, man. I say it all the
that too.
time.
I can't remember where I got it from. I got it from
You got
somebody
it from
else.
your one-eyed friend. I
Oh,
hate to call
yeah.
him that.
Yeah, that's right. Joe. He's like, this is some Jimmy Jack bullshit.
And I'm like, dude, I say that here. Nobody's ever questioned it. They were like, what'd you say? Nobody's ever done it. I keep expecting somebody to be like, Jimmy Jack bullshit. They just accept it as my southern ass just saying random words strung
Right.
together.
That guy from the South is saying
Nah.
shit again.
He's saying Jimmy. He's saying James Jacqueline bullshit.
What is Jack short for?
No.
Because it's short for something that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like John or something. Unless I'm just way off base, which is possible.
Let's find out. John
Wow. Which doesn't make any
Ja-
sense
or
because
Jackson.
they're both fucking 4 letters.
I know. That. Yeah, that's weird. That don't make no sense.
Let's
Well,
see.
how'd you get Bill out of William?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you could just say Will.
Yeah.
I have no idea, dude.
Some of these things are just unknowable.
They are. They are.
But you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
land this plane safely?
Sure. So I don't know where we're at in this podcast because the reality is, while we've been doing this podcast, I've been drinking. Josh has been drinking. And we've had a lot of tangents talking about a lot of different things. But let's start back at Barry Pepper.
beginning.
Barry Pepper, yeah, at the beginning. Barry Pepper gets his arm ripped off. They're on their way to the roof, and he's on the fucking staircase, and the alligator breaks his fucking arm. It doesn't take it off cleanly. It's not like he chomps down and just takes it off. He bites onto it, and then, like you said, breaks it fucking backwards, and then rips it off. And you see the arm get ripped off. But they make it to the roof. And here's a question I have for
Well-
you. This is what I don't. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to back up and,
Sure.
and say one cool scene. The alligator chases her. She's trying to get to her dad, and there's an alligator in between them. And she swims in the bathroom, and then she goes in
Oh,
the
yeah.
tub, the shower. She closes the shower door, and then she opens it, and then right as the gator comes in, she
Climbs over
uses
the top.
like the soap handle and climbs over the top and then shuts it. It's a pretty cool scene because the gator does reach up right as her foot leaves the bathroom, and it's all shot top down. Looks so good.
Yeah.
Then okay, so she gets safe, and then they get to the roof.
My fat
And this
ass,
is-
the soap dispenser would have broke.
Oh
Put it
yeah.
out there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this actress is. I mean, honestly, she's probably my height. I mean, I'm short, but she probably weighs like a $105.
Yeah.
Like I would have been out of breath just from the jump. But they get to the roof, and again, I did this, and I normally do not do this, because if I don't catch it on this podcast, I don't feel like it's fair for me to bring it up if I don't catch it.
Sure.
But I did go to the goofs because I'm like, this is really tight fucking script. So they get to the roof, and obviously there comes a helicopter. And this is a Category 5 hurricane.
I think you might be saying what I was about to say, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first off, a helicopter can't fly in Category 5 hurricane weather. That's not possible. And second, she holds up the flare, and there's no wind. Like, you know, like Category 5. Me and you have been through a Category 5 hurricane. You were around for Katrina, right?
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. We, to be fair,
We're in the middle of Mississippi. We
Yeah.
wouldn't even we called
We-
probably a Category 3.
we caught like the outer edges of it, and it still fucked up our area.
Yeah.
Like, so we can't imagine what it was like in the fucking focal point of the storm.
Yeah.
I know I talked to somebody after it happened, and they told me, like, yeah, my parents used to have like property that was like a couple miles off of the coast, but after Katrina, they have beachfront property now because it leveled all those houses. So yeah, if you're trying to shoot a fucking flare up into the hurricane, it seems like it was just carried away.
Yeah.
And then, and
Hit your dad in the face.
right? And exactly what you were saying. How the fuck did that helicopter make it through?
Yeah. That wasn't happening.
Yeah. I feel like at that point they're just gonna have to ride it out.
Which the eyes already passed. So
Yeah.
I mean they probably could have just stayed on that roof until help came.
Possibly. Excuse me. And then they escape and everybody's alive and more or less happy. I mean, Barry Pepper can't be too happy. He lost a fucking arm.
And the gash in his shoulder, and I think his foot was fucked up.
Oh, I
'Cause-
can't remember.
Look, Barry Pepper, twice during this movie, she finds him unconscious, and he doesn't wake up till after the first gator attack, and then he is legally dead when she pulls him out from the crawl space because she has to do CPR on him.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
right.
so this motherfucker has been through it, and on top of that, there's a whole subplot that it's not that we ignored. The whole subplot is like the ex-wife is already remarried. The dad is lonely and took out like an insurance policy, and there's this whole father-daughter relationship going on.
Yeah.
It's emotional. It's well executed. So
Yeah, Barry Pepper's a well-meaning father in this movie.
yeah,
And he's just trying to do the best he can. And, divorces suck. I can tell you that from experience. I've done 2 of them. I suck at marriage, apparently. And it's a hard thing for people, So it's nice to, like, you can see where the father would do these things that he did, right? And is he right? Is he wrong? Who's to say?
well, it was, when they finally have this heart-to-heart talk, and there's a deleted scene I watched and I brought up this insurance earlier, and I didn't realize that was a deleted scene I watched. She finds like a piece of paper.
Okay, I was wondering because I
Saying-
don't remember that.
Yeah, it's saying that he took out an insurance policy, and she thought that maybe he had went down in the crawl space, to do something.
Yeah.
And it's a scene where the water's rising. It's about up to their chest in the crawl space, and she's like, "Dad, I said, I saw the insurance policy," and he's just like, "I took it out because, if something does happen to me, I want you and your sister to be taken care of." And it's a good scene. This movie's 86 minutes. They could have fucking left it in.
Really?
I mean, it's like a 90-second scene. Fucking
Yeah.
just leave it in.
It's not like they were like 3 hours.
Yeah. It ain't like you were pushing it. But,
It's not a Lord of the Rings extended edition.
God, best thing to fall asleep to. The extended editions. You know you're going to be asleep by the time the credits roll.
No shit.
You good to go. But, yeah, and the movie ends with her shooting the flare and then sort of looking back at her dad, which makes sense storyline wise. It does come across as a little cheesy
Yeah.
because she does turn back to the camera and give a little smile, and it's roll credits. But that's it. That's it. Yeah.
So let's do this in two parts. Let's get your fucking rating first.
Oh yeah, this is 4 stars. This is easy. Easy 4 stars. Easy. Yeah.
So you and I have the same fucking rating because normally I write down the number. I draw the little stars on my notes, and I forgot to write them down for this one. But it was 4 stars for me too, man. It's a good fucking movie. It's enjoyable to watch. It's man, if you've got like an hour and a half and you're not doing anything with it, fucking watch Crawl. Check it out.
Easy. In and out. This movie moves at
Fucking
really good pace.
Cook you a little Tostino's pizza in the oven. Or if you're bougie, do a DiGiorno. I like Tostino's. They're cheap. They take like 11 minutes. They're tasty.
The people who listen to this podcast are flat earthers and Tostino's fans. I mean,
And that's why I like Tostino's is because it represents the shape of the earth.
Flat.
Yes.
You goddamn
and
right.
Square.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun movie, dude, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And me and you are in agreement on this. We both give it 4 stars. Like, if you haven't seen Crawl, you should check it out. Like, it's a good alligator movie. So let me ask you the next question. Out of the 3 movies we watched,
Let's rank them.
Yeah. So you went first on the ratings. Let me jump in. I'm gonna jump in. I'll give you.
This is pretty easy though. I think we got to have the same ones.
Maybe we might differ on 1 and 2. I'd say Rogue is number 3.
Yep.
I'd say Crawl is number 2 and Alligator's number 1.
Okay. Yeah. We flipped.
Because I have a soft spot for 80s movies.
I have a soft spot for Robert Forster. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I love it, and I love the practical effects. But I think, to me, Crawl is just a little bit tighter.
Yeah. And I could see that because it's one of those ones where, depending on the time of the day and which way the wind's fucking blowing, I could be like, I like Crawl better.
Yeah. I would have liked to see him Crawl in the theater with a sold out theater. I think that would have been fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this.
Sure.
Just throwing it out there. It's Friday the 13th. This is October. We've covered up to this point 1 through 4 of the Friday the 13ths. Rank them 1 through 4.
This is also gonna be subject to a possible flip flop depending on time of day, mood. All right, so Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th 3, Friday the 13th 2, Friday the 13th 4.
Okay, you went in reverse order, right?
Yeah. 4 being the best one. 1
4,
being the worst.
And then
2.
And then 3, then the OG.
Yes.
That's mine as well. And 2 and 3 can switch. I have a soft spot for number 3.
That's what I was thinking too. Like 2 and 3, depending on how I'm feeling, could alternate positions. But like part 2, we should be saving this for those episodes. But I will tell you, part 2 has the best machete kill scene. Machete. But machete. It has the best fucking kill scene with a machete.
Oh yeah.
When old dude gets hit in the face and then rolls down the stairs in the wheelchair. That scene is so good.
And then it zooms in on him and cuts to white. Yeah. Look, again, we're going to be doing this way later in the future. That might be my favorite Friday the 13th kill.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And part 4 has some bangers.
He's killing me.
Hey, Tad, where's the corkscrew, Tad? Oh, yeah. Anything else we can rank before we sign off? I love ranking shit.
I don't think so. I'd say we could rank the kills in this movie, but they're all kind of the same. People get ate by alligators.
I would say the dumbass deputy who wanted to look at the
Oh
fucking
yeah.
swing. That's probably number one because it's about four of them that just feast on his ass. Yeah.
So just to give you some context to this, we were worried that this episode wouldn't be very long. Our Twitch stream is, where's the time at? Oh yeah, on Twitch we've been live for 2.5 hours.
Nice.
On not Discord, on our recording of the actual episode, we're at like 2 hours and 8 minutes, 2 hours and 9 minutes right now. So we got
I mean,
and not to dick on the movie because we both love it and we both gave it 4 stars. But when you watch it, it's just it's a basic plot, and it's like one fucking set piece. It's this house essentially, and this gas station across the road. So there's not just like it's not fucking Citizen Kane or something like that where there's a lot of subtext and everything like that. But it's just a fucking good movie that's fun to watch.
let me ask you this: who's the MVP?
Uh, I don't know, Barry Pepper.
He's really good. I'm gonna have to give it to Alexander Aja because in the wrong hands,
Oh yeah, see, I was thinking actors. Yeah, this could have been a bad movie in the wrong.
this
set
could
of-
have easily, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been really cheesy and really goofy as fuck. But like, he showed restraint and just made a good, solid hour and a half movie.
And that's not to take, everybody in this movie is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the kid, I mean, he needed a better face when he ate like a cold gas station hot dog. He should have spit it out. He was,
No, he was all into that fucking hot dog.
Jesus. Ugh.
All right, so we kind of hinted at this earlier, but for me and you, the next block of movies we're going to do is going to be Giallo. We're going to do some Italian slasher horror.
This is going to be good. This is going to
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Italian movies, man, there's something else.
Yeah, they're a horse of a different color. They are.
And there's actually there's a documentary on Shudder. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to watch it. It's called All the Colors of Giallo.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, put that on your wish list so I can,
So you
because
can
I will
watch it too?
forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was that one or if it was Facus for Fulci that I started watching. But I would tell you too, man, like, normally I'm not going to recommend streaming services and be like, oh, you should get Hulu or something like that, because it's not for everybody. Some people like Netflix, some people like Hulu. I like watching Key to Hill reruns, so I like Hulu,
That's on Disney Plus here
Oh, is
in
it?
Europe. Hmm.
which makes sense. But I would tell you, Shudder, not a ton of content, but what they got on there is worth watching.
And you want to support horror.
Yeah.
This podcast started out as a horror podcast. We've deviated a little bit, and we'll continue to deviate with this, my side project. But that's ultimately what I mean. We are a
Yeah,
horror movie podcast,
indeed.
and just, I mean, you don't even have to say it right now, but just if anybody wants to watch them before we cover them, Bone is going with New York
Ripper.
New York Ripper.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go with Tenebrae, and then you're unknown about your third pick.
And you know what? Just for the sake of it, because I haven't watched it and it's a blind spot for me, we may do Suspiria.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was it for Crawl. If you haven't seen it, watch it. We both recommend it. We recommend you also listen to other episodes of our podcast. And we also thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, and we normally don't tell people to do this because there's just, I hate saying it, and so I never say it. I think Daniel has said it, maybe you, but yeah, god damn, I want to throw up saying it. Subscribe, or
Yeah.
I've heard people say hit that like button. I
Hit
don't
the
know what
like.
that means.
It's on YouTube. Hit that like button.
Okay, yeah, I don't
Subscribe
know.
if you can. I mean, what's it going to hurt you? Nothing. Go ahead and
That
subscribe. Like. Click that
my
little button.
only goal in life is obviously to raise a happy, healthy daughter. My second goal
Is to
is
be
to
a
get
billionaire.
one goddamn advertisement on this podcast.
One advertisement.
Just one
Blue
advertisement.
Chew.
Or one Patreon,
Well,
which we don't even have Patreon. We
I
don't
guess
even
like-
do enough content to do
I guess
that.
they could set that up.
But no, because then we would be beholden to,
And maybe
and we don't
need
have
that.
enough content to do that. Yeah, maybe we do.
Maybe we do need to. I mean, I've still got some episodes in the bank that I need to edit and put up. But we appreciate you for listening. We appreciate those of y'all that watched on Twitch. And me and Josh will be back next time. Which one did we say we was doing first?
New York Ripper.
Yeah, so when me and Josh come back, we're going to be doing New York Ripper. The next episode with me, Josh, and Daniel is going to be Dream Warriors, if I'm not mistaken.
Which we haven't recorded, but
Not yet.
that'll be the next one for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everybody, once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I love you.
We're still live on Twitch, so you can keep talking if you want to, but I've paused the recording. Let me download it.
There was something I was gonna say because it's like midnight here. What was I gonna say? Yes, you need to fucking bone. I know I've hyped it up to where it's not gonna be as good, but anytime you have movie night with your gaming buddies, fucking y'all watch Deadstream, man.
Have you told me about this before?
Maybe 3 or 4 times. Only 3 or 4 times.
Well, you know what? That's the problem. You didn't tell me 5 times, and 5 times is when it sticks.
Yes. It's Evil Dead meets Blair Witch, but the camp of Evil Dead.
Oh. Did you ever watch Deathgasm?
No, we talked about this when we didn't record and me and you were chit-chatting.
Yeah.
I started it. I didn't finish it. Not because it was bad. I just...
So if you, I'll tell you what, if you take a gummy,
You got some gummies.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to see them? Dude, they made fucking. We watched Deathgasm, and I'd taken a gummy. Let me tell you, it's a fucking experience, buddy.
Really?
Yeah,
That's an Australian movie?
New Zealand.
Or is it American? New Zealand. Okay, yeah.
Yep. Was a good movie, and I enjoyed it.
Take a gummy for Deadstream.
I mean, I probably will. I've cut them up into thirds, so I gotta see how much I got left.
How much was that?
This pack is like $60.
At a gas station?
No, from a fucking smoking vape shot.
What is the situation with marijuana in Texas?
It's illegal.
But you can sell like THC gummies?
Which works for me because I don't have the tolerance of other people.
No, I wouldn't. Even if I lived in Colorado or where I wouldn't smoke, I'd take maybe like you do, like a third. I can't fuck with that shit now. My anxiety's too high. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
I smoke now, I think I'm going to have a heart attack. And I think I'm the dumbest person in the room. And why am I talking? And I look so fucking stupid. I can't do it. God damn, I can't do it. Nope.
All right. Let me go ahead and end this Twitch stream real quick, and then we can chat some more if you want. All right, everybody on Twitch, we appreciate you watching. We'll be back next time. Thank you so much.
Ciao.